bound to win. Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion in leaving behind adequate. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen. And you could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The high life is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you could do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your worth go up like inflation. And start chasing your dreams, stop waiting. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call a covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an itch, man, I'm making. I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top and the sailing. They can all try, but you cannot contain it. Cause I see the things that I want and I take on my goal. Push myself to the brink, no limit. Do what it takes to be free, committed. I'm a little obsessed with things, I'll admit it. But that's what it takes to get a freedom ticket. Got a killer instinct and it's just the beginning. Breaking down walls and the hurt start thinning. And the more you push it, the fast start trimming. Till you're the only one standing up straight, winning all.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
to everything you're facing. Keep up with the pace and adrenaline rush starts racing. Get through all the things you hate and don't let the others in charge of your dreams. They just don't know what it takes to be seen. You see the ship take control of your team, and if you're alone, then a one-man army. So you better be starving, and you better be carving. Through the hate, keep marching, and every day keep charging ahead till you get what you want, what you dream. Regret is a thing of the past, and you'll see that you've always had it inside. It's the key to make the most of this life. Believe.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing now. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Testing, learning, and turning into a better me. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. got all the voters.
I swear to God, I've been at it for a minute. Climbing to the top, and this music was my ticket. Found a way to grind, turn a passion to a business. No limit, I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need the chase. I love the race, and I'm running till I'm first place. Long nights, long flights, I'ma make it big. Big dreams, big sights since I was a kid. Doing things that I like, let the pieces fit. I like the pain, feel alive when I'm under it. I could change, adapt, do what I need to. All these obstacles, they look and see through. Don't let the anger out, just let it feed you. I'll see you at the top, just let me teach you.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motive. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
They be like, really, you got a milli from doing something silly? I'm like, chilly, I've been killing for decades now, Billy. Well, maybe like several years, but who's counting really? I just know how to turn something silly into a milli. Got a lot to say, and a lot need to hear it. You don't quit today, we don't stop, no, we feel it to the top. Yeah, we change our whole world, yeah, we steer it. Getting lost in the things that make us all worth hearing. I'm the first one to turn up, learn stuff, but mostly I'm just in the lab getting work done. Cause the bills on the first, they still worth some. I never forget being broke, man, it hurts, son. But not as bad as not having any purpose. I took stabs, this and that, and it's working. But I still grind every day for that thirst. It's a curse being first, yeah, still gotta get my work done.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motive. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn way. Ain't nobody tell me shit, I'm on top of it. Writing hits that make other people feel like writing hits. We gon' get every little goal that we wanna get. Never quit, we don't even know what it means to quit. Write it down, what you want, what you need, what you see. Everything that you wanna be. Put it out in the world, that's your destiny. In your mind, what you need is to have believe. I'm gonna make it to the top. Cause I never stop, my on switch doesn't have enough. I think it's broken, I think it's lost. I guess that's why I never take a loss.
New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win.
Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion and leaving behind adequate. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen then. You could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The high life is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase on. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you could do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your worth go up like inflation. And start chasing your dreams, stop waiting.
New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go.
Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never
ever hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call a covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an itch, man, I'm making. Oh, I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top and the sailing. They can all try, but you cannot contain it. Cause I see the things that I want and I take on my goal. Push myself to the brink, no limit. Do what it takes to be free, committed. I'm a little obsessed with things, I'll admit it. But that's what it takes to get a freedom ticket. Got a killer instinct and it's just the beginning. Breaking down walls and the hurt start thinning. And the more you push, see the fast start trimming. Till you're the only one standing up straight, winning all.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
You just gotta wanna keep chasing. Put you everything you're facing. Keep up with the pace and adrenaline rush starts racing. Get through all the things you hate in. Don't let the others in charge of your dreams. They just don't know what it takes to be seen. You see the shit take control of your team. And if you're alone, then a one-man army. So you better be starving. And you better be carving. Through the hate, keep marching. And every day keep charging ahead till you get what you want, what you dream. Regret is a thing of the past and you'll see that you always had it inside is the key to make the most of this life believe.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
Gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit in a plan and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your...
And welcome back, everybody, to Plausible Gaming. Today is the finals here. My name is Edu. I am joined on the mic with Puffo Bob, and we have two teams that are going to knock our socks off, as hopefully we're going to be looking at a much tighter matchup.
100%. It's going to be Permita facing Hazards today. Yesterday, we saw the beautiful semifinals where Permita were able to take SK9 in a 2-0, and Hazards 2-1, a bit more difficult against Manshine City. But these are your grand finalists, Hazards versus Permita, and today we're going to be deciding the Season 6 champion.
Yeah, Season 6 champion. I've been here since Season 1. If you guys are watching at home, you know the drill. Here at Plausible Gaming, we've been taking these teams that have found each other through our LFG in that Discord and have been able to just keep getting better. And today, they're going to be bringing that game to us today. But first off, let's take a look at what these teams have accomplished so far on stream yesterday. Let's take a look at Permita here, as we're going to be looking at how they dominated in our first semifinals of yesterday. Already off with Pistol, they did so good. They're just one of those teams that mechanical giftedness is what I can define them as. But what do you think, Buffo?
I mean, there's not much of a distance with what you said. You're pretty much right on the dot here. Permita were dominating SK9, not only through the first map, but made the second map look like as if they were just messing about. Maybe a bit of difficulties arose, but even at those points, they seem to have been just jesting. And like you see it right now, through Mirage, through Nuke, their shots were on the dot. Permita were able to hit them and also play as a team, which is what's most important when it comes down to CS. And of course, playing against a team like Hazards, they're really going to need to show their best.
Absolutely, and showing their best is definitely something that I feel like they weren't really keen on doing yesterday. And I know that sounds like a little bit of, Edgy, what are you talking about? Well, let me tell you, these guys were very clean in that first game, and then they started doing some funny stuff in the second game, kind of taking it a little bit slower and kind of testing the waters of what they were capable of doing. But now they're up against a team that I don't think is going to allow them to do that whatsoever.
Hey, but don't say that Hazards don't go without mistakes. I mean, as much as Hazards, we give them a lot of credit, right? They've been strong throughout the entire matchups. They also had their slip-ups, but Permita, without a doubt, they deserve to be in the grand finals here. We saw it through the replays. If you weren't here yesterday, well, you just got to witness some of these beautiful shots that they delivered. And today, they have 5 maps potentially we could see, or one of these teams could be having it be done a bit faster within 3, maybe 4. I'm hoping we get to go the full way.
Absolutely. Hussars here did not have a 2-0 streak like Permita, but they had a run of the century with the reverse sweep. So let's take a look at some of their highlights from yesterday's semifinals as well. Now, looking at Hussars, you're going to be noticing a lot of the team play that really matters. They're always getting trades for each other. They're always being able to lurk around and getting a ton of value. Even on first map, when they weren't able to quite take it, the second and third, the maps like Nuke and Overpass completely just overshadowed their rough game one.
Exactly, and at a best of 3 like it from the side of yesterday, they seem to be a bit more slow to catch on to things. They took the rounds by the moment. First one as a warm-up, but second and third, not much of an issue, and quickly stomped Manshine City out of the competition. As we see it right now on Nuke, yet again, we got it as 2 map 2s. And when Manshine City's true mistakes were shining most, Hussars were there to constantly punish them, and that's what I'm scared of seeing from Permita right now. Hussars are the punishers going into this matchup.
Absolutely. And looking at the way that they played out this game, you're going to be looking at specifically 2 players, right? You're going to be taking a peek here at RBD for the lurks and Carwix for the first bloods in the explosive op aggression that we were seeing him bring. Case in point with that double piece. This is the type of team that you have multiple players being able to bring very diverse play styles. And obviously showing up here on Overpass with a 10-2 half before executing the game, that's the kind of gameplay that I would think makes Permita stressed.
100%. But Permita, you know, like I said, Hussars weren't the most perfect. Yesterday, although they had their first halves amazing. Like you said, 10-2 is not much of a jest, but in the end, it still came down to 13-8 like scoreline. So they start slowly getting drained out as time goes on. That's the one thing that Permita doesn't have, but like we said, they're going to be a perfect matchup here. Real rivals and opposite ends of a magnet sticking together to see who can really come out on top of this matchup. And we have 5 maps here today. Yesterday, we've had 3, and before that, with the games that haven't been streamed, we've only had 1. So this is going to be the longest matchup of the entire season.
Yeah, it's going to be a big setup here. And of course, we did talk a little bit about endurance. You know, in the semifinals, the team that was going up against Permita seemingly needed it to be a best of 1, going up against Hussars here, Manshine, they were a best of 1 team. They got really burnt out halfway through that game. Now, Hussars has proven to be a late game strategist. These are a group of players that I think they really start to shine after they've had a few ones to knock them down to then build themselves back up. And in a best of 5 situation, that's almost guaranteed to happen here. So Hussar is definitely going to be kind of lighting the fuse early and hoping that that bomb goes off in a couple rounds from now, or they can completely just tell me I'm wrong and flip it on its head and go with an explosive launch onto Permita. Now, Permita is the highest seed in this tournament for one good reason. These guys have a lot of experience, and that experience does show in these longer form of matches, these sets of these best of 5. So I gotta ask now, do we think that Permita is going to be starting off really strong, or do we think that they're going to be hitting a new brick wall as they've been kind of taking things a little less seriously?
I think Permita are going to be starting off strong. I think around that end towards map 2 or midway through map 2 is when they're going to start really feeling Hussars and their warm-up. But throughout map number 1, I feel like Permita have the consistency. They're able to start off fast, they're able to start off strong, and they keep it up as well. But they don't necessarily have the build-up tempo that Hussars have been showing us yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. It's about that tempo that we're going to be able to see where they go. Now, the fastest you can end this set is in 3 games. So we witnessed a pretty long day in that second semifinals as we saw a lot of very close comebacks here from Manshine. But now going into this game, I don't think that we're going to be able to have that kind of momentum capping. One thing that we do know about Permita is that sometimes they do some funny buys, but they are Deagle demons. So if they do find themselves in the dumps here with their economy not really doing too well, they are the team to look at those eco rounds. They are going to be able to go into a round with practically half of a buy and probably take it against some rifles, maybe even some ops. That's the kind of scary thing about a mechanically gifted team, is you don't need a lot to go very far.
100%, and if we take a look at these 2 teams, maybe they already VOD reviewed each other, which also would make a bit of a downfall here for Hussars. Hussars struggled on Ancient yesterday. That's the only map they ended up losing. As for the side of Nuke and Overpass that don't play anything remotely similar, they had a real good blast. So, I'm wondering to see how these maps are going to be, because Permita, they could be aiming for maps like Ancient, maybe even Dust for all we know, where they have these important mid-sections, which Hussars clearly struggle on.
Yeah, it's really about forgetting to not give up space. I mean, we looked over at that Ancient map, and so many of those rounds were Hussars just being like, okay, I'm not going to be able to hold that space. Let's try to play on site, and then getting punished by lurks. But they were also able to kind of echo that. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they can, mimic the playstyle that they've struggled with. You have players like RBD, a very potent lurker who will be able to get around these players. And if he can start getting these real angles here and maybe just be in the thorn in the sidelines here for the team Permita, it could definitely shut them down. But at the end of the day, Permita, I think, was pretty much going for a lot of frags here. So I'm going to be anticipating one player on Permita is going to be given a lot of space to control. Just as a team, they very much can spread out and trust that one person is at least good for two. Now, that's a little bit of a risky gamble, because if he falls, then they lose so much of their space on any map. I'm thinking, and when I picture this, I'm thinking Dust 2, right? You're going to have one player in mid, one player pushed up tunnels, one player pushed up catwalk, and the second one of these guys falls, it's almost a free launch onto a site with how aggressive they play.
100%, and already speaking about it, that's also a good way that we've seen Permita gain a lot of advantage, but Hussars do a similar playstyle. What they really love doing is doing this type of 3-2 or 4-1 split, where they set a small amount of the team in a very remote location where teams don't necessarily focus a lot of their attention on, which allows Hussars to nicely charge on into the site and get themselves free site, essentially, if they're able to win their ones. But these gladiators, they need their arena, they need their maps, and with a map veto incoming, let's take a look at our first bans. And, well, it doesn't seem like Inferno is liked by any of these teams.
Well, I understand completely why Hussars wants to ban that map. Obviously, you have a lurk potential coming out here from the sidelines, but mid is Inferno. And looking at a potential VOD review, as you said it, an immediate overpass ban coming out from Permita, which I would argue is Hussars' strongest map. Now, this is an interesting one. Going for the pick here of D2 with Permita choosing counter-terrorist first, this could be that Hussars is trying to go for those sidelines, specifically a long. If they can get on that long site, this is a completely different game. And Permita sending it to Nuke. Now, this was also one of their best maps, so trying to do a little bit of a mirror matchup here. This best of five is getting very interesting as Hussars tries to run it back on Ancient. What they struggled with first off is now going to be a pick. And now, is this a pick to try to avoid having a bad time? I think maybe. They just are more confident on this map than they were on Inferno, so that's why they had to be the bans. It's only one ban here.
Yeah, I mean, you have one ban, and Inferno, without a doubt, has the strongest midsection of all these maps. It's the most important. You can traverse essentially this entire map with mid alone, go from one side to the other, have it be just interconnected to apps or be it banana. There are so many things that Inferno has to offer with this mech section, and they just didn't want to deal with that. They played Ancient, and that's the one pro they go into this with, right? They faced off Manshine on this map, so they do have a bit of experience, or recent experience, with Ancient onto this map. And as for the side of Dust 2, Dust 2's midsection, while though it is important, while though it still does hold that long position that players can really fight off towards the gate side, it necessarily doesn't have the connections. It necessarily doesn't stretch out as much. You have catwalk, you have tunnels. Again, it's all connected, but the T side can work with it quite nicely. Although, I don't think that's going to be an issue for Permita. Permita have shown that they can work with any map, they're comfortable on it, but they banned Overpass like you said it. That's going to be that VOD checking coming in.
Absolutely. And a map like Dust 2, with its new changes in Counter-Strike 2, it's not the same. It's not a mid-focused map anymore. If anything, mid is a trap for older players to fall into. You try to peek double doors as a T, you are immediately dropping into somebody who already has the angle on you. It's just, that's why it's called suicide, all right? It's not going to be a good mid map for pretty much most reasons. And if you're on CT side, you have a complete lockdown of Cat. It is going to be those mid-aggressive plays that we've seen Permita kind of pull off, though. 2 good flashbangs could completely cripple a solo holder mid, and that might be all that they need. So getting into this game, I'm very excited. But let's talk a little bit about those other maps we saw towards the end. Mirage as 4th map here, probably Permita's best. I mean, we saw really solid mid holds. They absolutely stomped on that map, and they were also kind of memeing around. That's the same map that we saw 4 ops, and they managed to nearly flawless that round, you know? So this is going to be very interesting to see, you know, the comfort pick of Permita as the second to last one. So if Permita starts off strong, Hussars is going to have a very tall mountain to climb. All of that to be said to get them to the decider of Train, which in my opinion, I don't think favors either of these teams' playstyles.
That's a rough one to call. Train is very unique. It's a mix of a lot of maps in my opinion, but what makes it so special is that although it does have a midsection, the midsection is a site, and well, while the Hussars are going to be forced to defend it or either attack it, maybe that's going to bring out a new playstyle. But again, you said we need to talk about a bit more about these maps. Mirage, while though we do see that Permita are really strong on it, that's why I'm a bit scared for this beginning, because Mirage is a very common map. If you play CS, you probably know how to play Mirage. Same goes for the side of Dust. I think Permita are going to be finding a lot of comfort going into Dust. And yet again, since they're able to pick things up quite quickly, and Hussars, with their track record, not so much, it's going to be a pretty strong beginning here if I were to predict it for the side of Permita, and then going onto the side of Nuke. Now, again, both these teams have played it. They played it well, so it's going to be a bit of a brick wall against a brick wall situation. Honestly, an unstoppable force against an immovable object. That's what I'm predicting there. As for the side of Ancient, again, Hussars, I'm crossing my fingers that we don't get to see what we saw in Manshine City.
Yeah, I hope that they VOD reviewed last night. I really do. I need them to be able to just kind of look at this game and tell themselves what they did wrong. The way that they treat mid is a huge blunder. I mean, that just got completely rolled over by a team that they proceeded to show was not mechanically skilled as them. So now going up against arguably the highest level skill ceiling that we have right now, you're going to have to make sure that you're playing the map correctly, because then you're relying on your aim, and when you have players that are able to wide swing, one tap you with deagles, it's going to be very scary. So getting into this set, we've now had the stage set for you guys at home. Let us know who you think is going to be able to take this best of 5 as we are starting off soon. And of course, let us know if you think it's going to be a close game. Is it going to be a not so close game? Is it going to be a stomp, or is it going to be a marathon? That's the question we have for you guys at home. And if you are watching, let us know where you're from. And of course, thank you guys for watching here at Plausible Gaming. This is the best LFG community that you can pretty much find in EU, and anywhere that you need to find PUBG or Counter-Strike, this is probably the place to find somebody to play with here. So, Puffo, I'm glad that you're on the mic with me again, but I gotta wonder, looking at our first map here, what are we really anticipating?
All right, you're putting me on the line here because we haven't seen Dust for these two teams. It was meant to be the decider, I believe, between Permita and SK9, but seeing as Permita allowed Dust to come through, I think they're going to be off to a good start. Again, I want to see how the sides begin. I want to see how the pistols go. I can't make much of a prediction, but I can tell you that Plausible Gaming, Edu here, told you a lot of great things about it, but also there was a giveaway ongoing. So we're going to be dropping some secret codes. We did on yesterday. We will today. Make sure you're tuned in, check the chat, and keep your ears out, because we're going to be dropping some codes that you can enter into the Gleam giveaway and get yourself some more credits to potentially win the giveaway yourself. So it's free. Nothing's going to harm you, and honestly, I don't see a reason as why not to do it. But while the match is slowly getting prepped up, I'm going to answer the question, and Edu, I think Permita will come in with this very strong. Their first half is going to be solid. Hussars are going to have a bit of a comeback, but it will not come through. That's my prediction for map number 1.
Not come through here for Permita. So we're thinking that it's going to be Hussars who are just king of the side lanes, being able to get those.
The other way around.
The other way around. So
Permita are coming in strong. Hussars attempt to come back. It doesn't go their way.
Got it. Okay, so it's going to be Permita who starts off really strong. Yeah. Now, I think that with Permita's playstyle of kind of their hyper aggression, there's a lot of ways to kind of punish that. Now, you look back at Dust 2. long doors, right? One of the most contended spots in the entirety of Counter-Strike's history. You're looking at a team that also has been very perceptible to grenades. You know, Hussar, they like to use their util pretty well, and Permita likes to eat grenades. So that alone is going to be a lot of wait out around the doors, default heavy, trying not to get picked off here by just utility damage, right? Even if a team is not mechanically as skilled as you, a grenade hurts regardless of if you're, you know, global elite or if you're silver. It doesn't matter. A grenade's going to take your face off. But let's jump into the game. Let's see how these guys are actually going to be able to play as the pistol round has begun.
Has begun going into map number 1 of our grand finals. Permita facing Hussars, and by the wise words of Edu, grenades can hurt, and they do not favor anyone. Now Hussars, if they're going to be putting that to the test, maybe Permita will be the ones being punished and not able to find so many gunfights as they wish. And while though we do have a bit of a pause ongoing, it's just to rile you up. Right now we can take a look at some of these beautiful players, the beautiful pictures. We also have the map bans on board. Dust, Nuke, Ancient, Mirage, and Train will be your maps if you weren't here before. And well, you know, Edo, I'm going to return this question. How do you think this match will go?
I think it's going to go very interesting, considering I'm looking at different players on the roster here for Hussars. I'm looking at Lol 3K and Eski coming in here, taking the place of, I believe, Ylos. Or I could be... No, that's different. I feel like these aren't the same guys. Yeah, where is Scissor?
Yeah, Lol 3K and Eski, do not remember them. I know Latch, Fadge, and Snow. Definitely can't remember those names, but the rest are going to be a bit unfamiliar, and I guess maybe we get to see new impressions, new faces, and a new team.
Yeah, very interesting to see the roster kind of shift up in between the semifinals and the finals. Could mean that our predictions might not be the nail on the head anymore, or it could be for the worse, you know, what maybe somebody has work today. You know, at the end of the day, these guys looking to play, but oh my god, it's Permita's aggression. They're just rushing down mid.
Yep. 19 they're going to be trying to contest the enemies in their own field and territory, as STR supporting will find Ladge around gates and pushing back towards long. Eski going to be returning the favor for 1 for 2 with the help of Lol, and just like that, a good conversion, 3v3 now, looking to overtake the site A. But you gotta be watching your back, as of course 19 is playing no games and a head tap, but quickly going to be exchanged right on back.
All right, now it's time for the new guys to shine, and Ophi is going to be giving him a shiner right in the eye. Another headshot down, and Ophi does it again. Huge from Permita. The aggression will be successful on the pistol round. CT's taking a more aggro playstyle, and the new guys being the only guys to be on the board.
100%. Well done to Hussars here for attempting to fight back against it, but Permita's aggression is shining through right on bright. With the first round, they were able to pick up the pistol, and of course leave Hussars with the best gun in their roster, being a Tech 9 on Lot 3K standing out. With Permita already on the scout, and yeah, it's not even a surprise we're getting to see it being contested. There's a shot, going to be able to take a bit of HP off of Snow, I believe. But Permita just keep on contesting back into it, as I do believe here.
There it is.
He's going to be able to get the nade. My goodness, we just walk into those.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really anticipate it. Sitting in that smoke, you hear a chink and boom. There goes one of your players, and now the utility already showing itself up, but it's still a trade for a trade. The scout not quite finding its mark, but that's why we have an M4 on the second round. There goes the bomb. Now stuck here on the box. Are they going to be able to push up? STR in a beautiful position here, not being too aggro. That's what we like to see. A little bit of a turnaround here for these guys. But at the end of the day, Permita has already proven themselves to have the weapon advantage, and there's no real reason why Hussars can push. It's just a pincer and a punish.
And now Snow, Fadge left to dust. Final 2. Stars are looking to put him to an end, and STR with a single clip of that magazine able to finalize both of those shots and get Hussars the second round. And what a beginning here, but we're gonna have to swap those teams for a moment. I was thinking to myself, just those names are right, but yeah, Permita with the second round already. Good aggression, again, not expected from the CT side, as normally they're supposed to be the defender sided, but oh well, it's Permita we're talking about.
And here now, Permita going in for a pretty aggressive 2 players pushing out here. Nobody on Cat, though. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a split. You have Hussars waiting to find some angles here, but at the end of the day, I am going to be looking at what these AKs can do. These are the best guns for Dust 2. MVPs of the long distance rifle fights. It really does put them in the advantage. I'm still also looking at Ophi, who opted not to buy or upgrade the Scout, opting for the range, kind of proving what these players kind of analyze this map to really be for them. But as the default continues, Permita, zero aggression, completely passive here, allowing these guys to walk into the crosshairs.
Great switch up. Give Hussars the wrong impression and have them worry every step they make, but then come out swinging unexpectedly. It's going to be sent off. As then, you see Hussars are trying to read into Permita, but they're going to be reading wrongly, going to be a couple of steps ahead, able to find Lol, and early initiation overtaking Long. Not much contention on it, as the rest of Hussars are now going to be stuck towards mid, debating if it's going to be short or tunnels.
Here we go. Still taking it slow. You already lost a player, and that's one gun down that you're gonna need to keep. And smoking off for the CT side, Eski's gonna just walk on in and a clean flick. That's one down. Might be able to get the second, but no, it's the high ground. A 19 able to just keep this locked in. Here's the footsteps. Now calls to his teammate. Full rotate. They're going to be committing here. Hussars needs this bomb plant, but will it be enough as the AKs are now in the hands of Permita, and Permita is getting aggro.
And they're looking to keep them as well. While for the side of Hussars, they don't want to have them be kept inside the site. Rather, put them 6 foot under. 3 players are going to be approaching tunnels, nicely trying to find their gate crash into this site. And already swinging on by. That's going to be one for Ophi. Second one for the trade, and able to make sure that 19's life is not for naught. Permita with the 3rd round, 3 players still alive. And speaking of 3 players, 19, STR, and Ophi currently, at the current given moment, are doing quite nice.
Yeah, very solid here from Permita. And one thing that I know for a fact is that now that Hussars is kind of taking a back seat, this is not the map where you could be pulling out those deagles. I mean, you could try, but not against this team. Now, what am I looking at this hero rifle for? No, they're full forcing. They're going a little bit of rifles. They might just try to rush it. And no, it's a hero rifle, which means he's going to be staggering his teams by all alone on the round that Ophi is going to be able to afford this op. And that's not going to be great. The nades are out, but hold up. Jason, he's already up. Fosh is in the map and ready to keep going, but the shots are fired. STR is good for 1, but this hero rifle is making it work. But oh my god, while blinded, gets 2. STR absolutely clean with it, but with those 2 CT players down, it's rifles versus rifles, 3 versus 3.
And now they can start focusing on their main objective, which is get that bomb down. And you got to be watching your 6. With how aggressive Permita have been into stepping in your own territory, you got to start learning your mistakes. And the position here from Remy might be able to just cut off anyone out of bounds. But as for Hussars, they're being careful. They're stepping towards Long slowly but surely, although haven't made much progress, but currently in a sandwich between the final 3 players of Permita, which are just waiting for the right moment to strike.
Ooh, good util. Kind of telegraphs what's going on here, which allows Remy to keep up that flank, as you pointed out. So hopefully we're going to be seeing what they can do, but it's all about timing here. Perfect nade and the spray. That's going to be 1 down. Remy now knows that both are going to be pushing up the long. We're going up the ramp. It's going to execute from the sidelines. That's 1, and no, 2. Eski keeps it real. And now in a 1v2, Ophi still has that op, but he's on a lurk. And if 19 gets to aggro before his teammate gets there, it's a 1v1 for free.
Gotta wait for it. Checking the wrong directions. No one's on short. They're both long side. And Ophi with the op gonna be able to find the last. Just a shot in the back for Eski to be taken out. More than enough time. Plenty to go around, especially with the defusal kill being on the final 2 players of Permita as well. And 4 rounds already in a row. With the CT side here being quite heavily favored. I expected, but Hussars are slowly gonna have to start making the rounds count as well.
Wow. Now, getting into this next round, unfortunately, you look at Hussars, who will be having, I believe, a staggered buy. I think with the plant, though, Jason just barely gets to be able to afford with some kit. So, again, they're forcing up. They're trying their best to just get these rifles out. But at the end of the day, it's the util usage from the CTs that really give the advantage. There goes half of the HP of 1 player.
looking so contested, which is not going to be looking the greatest, as 19 is able to pick up the first. Lolic, though, able to quickly return it in for themselves. Hazards have now gained control over this entire B side with a really good entry, but Remy still swinging on high to find one in return as well. Lajin is going to be keeping Hazards within balance. The Permita are not looking to step down from this gunfight. They keep on contesting, and unlike the team from yesterday, who was it that kept on saving? Was it Manshine? It was, right? They're not like Manshine. They want this.
True. Ooh, what a pickup there. Might be able to find yet another one. And boom, again. That's what we need to see from Hazards, but it's not going to be enough if STR can keep up this momentum. One player is half, and from the high ground, it's Lol who takes that low HP and starts off with a round for Hazards. Now, I'm a little bit sad that we're not seeing the previous Opper here, but clearly, Legenskio can just do it anyways.
Can step up, take the lead, and well, Hazards now with their first opening round. That's going to be a great way to start it. But of course, you can't allow Permita to pick up the ball just yet again and get it rolling, because they've already started off with such fashion, and now they look to continue off from where they left. Hazards, in the meanwhile, starting to pick up the economy. Good with the ops as well. Lajin here, going to be nicely holding down mid, I imagine. But that so-called aggression for Permita doesn't seem to be showing itself so widely as it has up until now.
Taking your time. STR flashing out, looking. Believe they did spot Remy getting into lower tons, but Eski's going to be able to grab one, and that's going to be enough close. Remy gets one, but boom, beautiful backup with your teammate. It's the close quarter op that works, but 19 ready to try to get a little bit aggro here, but boom, it's another one here for Laj, and he's going to just keep up that momentum. Technically, it's op versus op if they try to push onto this B side, but I'm looking at the full mid aggression. The footsteps are heard, and oh, whiff shot. Not going to be able to make one drop, but it's okay because they keep on trying here, and the timing is almost perfect, but he flashes his own teammate, and that's going to be one, but not two. The flick quite literally a pixel off.
Now it's going to be Snow holding Flea in his spawn yet again. Looking to contest him on his own, but just walks into Lolic, and like it's the final will be claimed. Huzars now with 2 rounds and starting to put Permita in the grave when it comes down to what budget they can use going into the following. Might just be pistols alone. And at a moment like this, if I were in the shoes of Permita, I might want to start considering a tactical timeout.
Honestly, there's a good chance. This now, getting into this round, is not going to be an easy moment for Permita. They are rocking some pistols. I'm looking at Ophi with the Zeus, but 19 is already gone. But look at the trade coming up pretty large. But is the Zeus going to make it? No! He pre-fires it, and it's going to be the nade that gets another one. Flea tries his best with the Deegs, but is it going to be enough? We are seeing a lot of damage. Remy holding the W key, but it's the nades that keep up this team's kills. With only one player left, oh, almost gets it, but luckily Snow's going to be able to swing and protect his teammate. However, that was a pretty solid save round. They've taken out 3 guns.
Yeah, I wouldn't say solid. I would say that's pretty golden here for Permita. They're able to fight absolute artillery from Hazards with only deagles, and find 3 kills is absolutely monumental. Not does it only bring down Hazards' man count just in general for the eco in the long run here in this match, but they're also able to just keep up their own. With a couple extra bucks now in the pocket, they're going to be affording much more than just those pistols, and now fully committing to back again these rifle rounds with both teams stacked on utility. It's up to Permita to maybe deny Hazards from equalizing it out.
Look at this aggression here from Lowell, though. He wants to get his 3K, he wants to live up to that name, but with the smoke now popping and nobody really sitting up here in the CT zone, he's been spotted. They know mid is going to get aggressed. You do have Lowell just slowly inching his way up, but are they going to anticipate the high ground? The answer is hell yeah. That's 1, that's 2! Cleaning it up and getting a completely free B. Permita, they don't really have an option here. They kind of have to save. Retaking B from this angle, not possible.
Certainly not, and they're going to be going with exactly that motive. They're saving, going down to pits, supporting themselves from the very bottom part of long, and just waiting for Hazards or any of the players to step into their line of sight. As in the meanwhile, if they don't, that's completely fine with them. They're not looking for gunfights. They're looking for survival into this round. And you know what? Hussars can have their EQ as long as Permita can have their remaining 3 players, but I don't think the T side is going to be allowing that so easily. Look at Snow being a bit overzealous in the moment, even backed up by Fadge coming in for the support. And now the cross established towards Gate, who are going to be peeking out, but not checking the right angles, as the second one will be able to prevail. Snow there with a nice trade onto Flea, and Hussars have already dealt enough damage, but they keep on trying to damage him, but it resorts in damage against them. Offie able to swing off the final. A bit of unnecessary aggression from Hussars, but they win the round nonetheless.
I wouldn't call it unnecessary. And for one reason, they know Permita is a little bit broke right now. Getting those picks while they have enough money to afford to lose their own lives, very important to keep these guys back. Because case in point, 19 and Remy don't get a buy this round. Flea only on a FAMAS. So keeping these guys down and not giving them the guns they want, critical. But what can they do with the guns they don't want?
Swing. Can find one. That's good enough for 19. We're going to try and persist on through, and that's where Faj Snow, Eski are going to be able to take 3 in return. And while the Flea is fighting back, that's for sure able to pick up a better gun with the M4 now looking for head taps and a bit of nade utility as well. As this is what could deal Hussars a bit of extra damage, but doesn't connect the greatest. And with the Molly now going to be isolating you from backing off towards shorts. Permita have been dealt another losing advantage, or rather losing situation, but Flea's able to back it up, get them on even man count, and now down to a 2v2.
2v2. One very low. Flea walking right into the corpse of his teammates. And what a flick. Trading it up and down to off close quarters. But can the 5-7 do enough? It looks like he can. Whiffed shots leave Permita standing. And the op now in Remy's hand. Beautiful round to try to recov all of their money. And you look over at Hussars, who does have the bank to buy. But you do have Permita, who's now back in their momentum.
Oh, what a great way of aggression. Permita now swinging in with multiple players to limit Hussars only to tunnels alone, and then the final one getting a bit greedy to check where the final one might stand, but Remy up from behind and also picking up that up to transfer it back to Offie. Great efforts, and with an 8, you're going to be able to find yourself a kill, also get out safe and sound while the rest of the team starts slowly coming in for support.
Yeah, setting this up very clean, but will it be enough getting into this round? That's where I'm a little bit taken aback here. You have one player already gone. You have ops in hands that need to start getting their trades, but the 3 stack over here on the A side makes it so pushing long is going to be a firing squad to return this energy. But if anybody can try to punch through Permita's brick wall, it's going to be... I was going to say Offie, but Lash just takes it.
Lash taken up. Good one trade for the other, but Zara's not finding the breakthrough onto site just yet and still going to be pushed back by utility. Oh my god, 19, you can't be doing this. That will be Fadge for the drop. And was that also the player with the bomb? No, it doesn't seem like it, but it's still going to be a player and a gun less, which Permita, now they're looking for a refrag game and still lurking around these unexpected angles. Flea with a spray onto 2. The final one right through the smoke. It almost finds it, but Latch's HP going to be saving him in the nick of moments. And now just holding it down with the op. Wants to reserve it. Able to find one shot onto Flea. And speaking about fleeing, Latch is going right back to spawn, but the knife is out and 19 shots are turned right back. And you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, Latch. That's not how it works.
Yeah, thinking that he's not going to be getting flanked by Permita's aggression, that's going to be something that they need to learn fast. Remember, this is a best of 5, but it is Hussar's map. And right now, you got to start using these early maps to learn from these players. Here we go. A new round. They already won half, technically, by Permita. Can Hussars tie it up?
Good question. Guess we're about to find an answer. Well, while Permita are looking to tip over the edge of the split and attempt to find themselves a 7-5, an 8-4, still possibly. This is definitely the round to start it. It's definitely one to do. It's considering the Hussars are on pistols and trying to stick this centipede, this one conga line on through tunnels, but it's not going to be working the best in their papers because STR and Flea are just going to be taken out too. And the exchange of 1, possibly the 3rd, yep, there it is. Permita are still wiping them out, and with a single magazine, yet again, Flea there with a shot of the USPS. What is the confidence on this man?
Huge. Just Huge. Now with Permita in the lead, winning this first half. Remember, CT, I would argue, is the current side of Dust. It used to be T's with the fast rotations and the early aggressions, but now the CTs have everything that they need. There even is a self boost to get yourself onto Cat now. It's a lot less of a struggle, but you have that mid aggression that we talked about. Asar's lacking, but it looks like it's not enough. Remy and Ophi just pushing on up, and hello, right behind you, it's 19, making sure you don't get to play the game anymore. And in this last round of the half, there's only 2 against 5.
And Hazard's, there's not much of a save you can go for here, so you're going to either need to find a bit of a loophole out of this limbo of death, and attempting to do it for the first time will be where you're met with 19. Yet again, Fadge there dropping the bombs as well, and the last one with an up in a 1v5. The last round in the first half being a flawless, or at least what looks to be a flawless as of now from Permita, certainly sending out a message that they're not here to play a game. They're here to win a match, and the shot there will be whipping. Looking for the second one, it connects on through, but you're slowly getting outnumbered from the front and the back, and even then Ophi's going to be able to outwin and outwit your op battle, with Permita's first half being an 8-4.
Yeah, and you look at 12 rounds for Faj to only have 400 damage dealt. Now, his stats don't lie. This is a tactical shooter. You have to be looking at whether or not you're getting your value. You might be flashing your teammates in here, but you got to do more than just that. You have players like Laj getting these picks. You have Lowell getting these entries. But at the end of the day, if you want to beat Permita, it has to be across the board consistency.
100%. Permita now on the T side yet again, but still splitting themselves up with that 3-2 I talked about already, getting the first. And although it's not going to be heading their way, as Lalik is able to bring 3 down, SDR still fighting back with hopes and looking to see if anything can be doable in a moment like this. You definitely have the gun disadvantage, even seeing as Hazard's even used up a bit of this utility towards Gate, or maybe that was just Permita to try and limit where Hazard's could peek out from.
All right. Now, 2v3. Definitely still winnable here from Permita, especially as Lowell is traded off, and he was the guy very heated right now with the triple kill, but no one else has managed to find that value this round. And you're looking at Flea starting that pistol aggression, wanting to push up A. You have both of them working together, but it's a CT spot. Dinked and executed. One in main, but look at Fash getting his. It might be able to clean it up, live it up, and there we go. That's the kind of turnaround we got to see from this player. Setting up and knocking down. Hazars takes the pistol.
Rough moments to a decent round. Hazars are already looking to get back into the game and bounce towards Permita score as soon as they possibly can. But while this is the prep phase, can we talk about the giveaway? We haven't mentioned it a lot, and we've been making promises of it. So the first code here while you're watching these replays will be wider. Is that wider Ross holds? Yeah, should be.
Yeah, and no buys really coming out outside of Deagles. They have what they need, but will these Deags absolutely pop off? We've kind of been gassing them up as these holy grails of items, but it's the nade coming on up, and what a shot. Lowell with that M4 able to get one down, but can they keep it going? So they're now swinging again and again and again, and boom, it's the firing squad. They're all working together, and they're executing everyone, but the flash is so good. It gets 3. That's the kind of play you got to see to turn this game around. Ophi, 21 HP, trying to fight this back, but he's getting flanked.
Ophi stuck between a rock and a hard place, and better described as Hazars here in this case, in both positions as well. On 21 and a Deagle crossing his fingers to get any kills here, or either just stall out for a minute, which is going to be very unlikely. I think that Hazars are going to get a bit impatient and try and push him back, although the headshot does reveal itself for the moment. You're not able to find the mark just yet, and attempting to do so in the following few will be pushed back, and yeah, Laj comes in from behind, able to get Hazars their 6th round, with Permita now being in a moment where they could possibly respond.
Yep, it's the buy time. This is kind of the Valorant curve right here. You're seeing the first round loss, second round save, third round rifles. So if we can see this keep going, then this will be a chance for them to turn around. But I think stop going A. It's been right into Fash, who's been able to get a ton of value here. But they are still committing to the bit. They're still pushing up long, and all of those nades, mollies, they are starting to do some damage. Remy is backed up, but they smoke it, and it's just a execution. Pushing through all this utility, typically not a good idea, and as you can see, they've lost the bomb because of it.
And what's the best answer for that? Well, they're going to be pushing towards mid and trying to maybe re-establish a certain different angle of direction, but it's not going to be working their way as Fags is going to be putting another one into the grave quite quickly. Now for the rest of Permitta, they're going to be left with only 2 players, and with Afi, STR, against 5 players, this is a losing battle without a doubt, as they're just, again, in a situation Afi was in the prior round. Not much of a winning chance, getting swung out, but Afi actually taking the aggressive up front is able to take Fadge first, but still many remain, and STR here looking to help in that comeback. Snow quickly shuts it down, but in a 1v2, that's where Afi is spotted, and looking to find any ones, but doesn't seem like Hazards are going to be giving them away so easily, especially with the bomb in their hand.
Yeah, definitely in a position where if you are Ophi, you kind of have to go for it. This is their buy round. You've already kind of committed your funds. Saving would really kind of set your team back, as it's just going to be another hero rifle, but a potential clutch when you know that someone's at 11 HP, when you know Snow's at 74. This could be a real turnaround here to really just get them back on this map. Starting with the swing. They make a footstep, and Snow's going to punish that. But, of course, as Hussars are punishing Permitta, it's time for you guys to be rewarded. Instead, we have a giveaway for you guys. And Puffo, let's give him that code right now.
I'm still having difficulties reading with what it is. Could you help out, Edu? What does that mean?
Honestly, no idea.
But hey, let's spell it out if we have no clue.
Wide Rosshold?
Oh. Yeah, it will be WIDERAUSHOLD. It's in the chat as we're having difficulties pronouncing it, but you know who's not having difficulties currently? Is ours. They're starting to catch up.
Nice. STR cleaning it up and opening this down here for us. And I'm looking at 4. Looking at Eski. This guy's got a P90. All right. This is some 2013 levels Counter-Strike right here. Dust 2 being pushed into the P... Never mind. 2013 level aim from me, but it's now time for them to really start picking this up as the CTs are getting ready to push on in, and this is what you do with the P90 now. You kind of just keep tapping and tapping and tapping away. The SMG is shredding them, and that is Permitta stopping the A push, goes somewhere else, and it works wonderfully.
After 3 rounds of dominance, Hazards will finally be put to rest. Permitta with a round of their own, and well, that's certainly going to be a strong one incoming. The P90 just playing a bit of whack-a-mole here. STR messing around with his enemies in the final one. Just stuck around trying to find any entry onto the post planned, but unsuccessful. And now Permitta looking to find their grasp over the double digit as Afi with yet another great beginning, finding a shot onto Lolek.
Nice from 19. That's going to be a clean pickup. But uh-oh, there's another one that shows up. Eski getting a little bit aggressive here. He's going to find himself a newfound M4. But look at this. Where your aggression going? And that's going to be stuck here. The molly at your feet. The box not going to be short enough for you to hide. And now it's just Eski who has to tap. And it's the tap to the head that he receives, not gives. 7-10. Hussars still in a little bit of a deficit here.
Hazards, this is your map, but yet again, the one thing we can sugarcoat Hazard's score with is the comfortability of them starting to rack up their tempo over time and try and get better as the matches go on. Although, with one map gone, if the second one follows, which will be Permitta's comfort pick, you're already going to be facing series point, and that's not what we want now, is it?
Not this early, but unfortunately, it's off the back of this op. Eski is going to be going with the MP9. The aggression that we saw in lower tunnels was good enough to get him one pick, but I got to see more. I got to see more from this team. Wait, why is Permitta again? They're so set on pushing out a long, and that's where they're going into this op.
Hazards looking to challenge Smoking. Oh my goodness, that just nicely finds the little pixel. Snow as well, bullets through the smoke, able to get the opening. Permitta are 2 down, and after what seemed like was going to be their great return, is now slowly turning into death after death for 3 in a row. Permitta haven't dealt much of a casualty back just yet.
I'm really confused as to why they still want to be here. I mean, this is not the angle that they have been able to find success in. However, taking mid, taking A, or sorry, taking B, very important for them. But let's see if they can turn around in this 2v5, as we do have Flea with that op in hand. But Lash is in a perfect position to just punish, and you do need 2 smokes to cross this nowadays. Are they going to be able to get it? Oh, nice from Flea. He spots 1. Is he going to anticipate the second one right behind? Nice from SDR, but the flank from LOL is just too strong. Permita taking too much time, opening up their back door, and that's going to be an easy entrance for Hussar to punish. And now it's 8-10 here. Puffo, I'm looking at a little bit of a difference between Permita from yesterday and today.
Yeah, and that's where I want to delve a bit deeper into your point, which is, why are you not sticking with what works? If it's not broken, don't fix it. They're trying to go with new paths, and as Avi again is going to be opening it up. Stick to B. You've seen clear advantages and disadvantages with what happens between the 2 sites when you try to push them, and well, B has always worked out for you. And just like that, you've got the opening. The site is yours, and Remy just waiting for his team to come on by, but getting a bit overzealous will be allowing Eski to get it back into his own control. A swing here from the Yankee, gonna go punished, and Eski has the control over the bomb, but Permita didn't play this as a team. They played it like dominoes, and one after another, they fell. Oh.
Yeah, but somehow it still might be enough. It's just up to the guy who's clutched so many rounds. Now peeking it back up, and he's spotted out. And uh-oh. That's going to be one completely stuck here. Smoke online. Walks right past. Wait, he thinks that he's already gotten back in.
No. No!
No, what a 180. He can do it. Oh, what am I watching?
Oh, God. A circus. Permit to get away with it, but just barely. People were puzzling each other, going a ring around the rosy, through the smoke and in between. Hazards there with one player to clutch it out, but in the end, it still sticks true. Permit are good on B, not so much when pushing long, and, well, if they want to secure match point, I think that's the route they should be choosing. Now, Avi back on this midsection isn't going to be much of a surprise, but the bomb doesn't seem to be headed towards B, and I'm already shaken.
Yeah, this is not ideal, but with pistols in hand, are they going to find some value? Almost actually takes out Flea here, but here we're going to be seeing this 5-7 finding its value. I don't think so, as Remy's going to be the guy to get the pick, but Flea just keeps trying to bait this guy to push him, and it works. Finally, we see the fish take the bait, and now it's Laj trying to look for one more, and it's not enough. It's just a huge weapon difference here. Permita wanting to get match point, and they are going to do it with style. Now, Snow, last person alive, doesn't have a gun, gets shot from the top of mid, and that is going to be huge for Hussars because they have one save and one opportunity to turn this around, while Permita somehow, with a very staggered second half, still manages to stay on top.
Still waiting for those timeouts, Hazar. Right now is the final time to do it, and I don't think it's going to be happening. Would have been lovely to see it. Reset the tempo, get Permita back on wanting to push A aggressively, and maybe you reset yourself, but it was a pistol, I'll be completely honest. This time around it isn't, and Avi's going to be able to take out the head of Eski quite easily with a spray here from the side of Flea. The transfer doesn't happen, but it's the support that matters most. Remy gets a pick onto Lolik, and all of a sudden, Hazars are left with their final 2. Fat still fighting back, low HP nonetheless, and STR finishes the job. As Permita now with 3 players pushing on in towards the side of A, one still a bit behind, while the final of Hazars remains on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, Permita starts off real strong on Hazar's map pick, and you kind of see why. You're looking at just another team where you're seeing trades constantly coming through, and Hazars are too spread because CT side just pushes you so far apart from each other that you're not going to be able to get that value. That's why Permita really had a good start, but it's the last player, and it's over. And with Hussars not really being able to be good for 2, you're looking at a staggered round, and now map 1 going to Permita's team, and they're about to go onto their map pick, and I believe it's going to be a very close one, as what I saw from yesterday, these guys know this next map.
Yeah, and it's going to be none other than Nuke. Nuke is going to be interesting. I think with how we've seen these two teams play, they've been constantly at these long-range battles, especially towards mid right now, with Afi going for those op shots and Permita loving the A site and long. Nuke is a bit more close if we don't consider outside, but we're going to have to see Nuke just around the corner, as right now we're going to be taking a short break, so stay tuned, as we'll be right back.
deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Purpose is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you're doing something, that's all you need. I wake up ready for the day because I believe in everything that I'm doing, like it was meant to be. I get fixated and captivated on learning things. Don't hesitate to ask questions, the answer that I need. It's out there somewhere, I swear I can find a recipe. By testing, learning, and turning into a better me.
It lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. It lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
ticket. Find a way to grind, turn a passion to a business, no limit. I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need the chase. I love the race and I'm running till I'm first place. Long nights, long flights, I'ma make it big. Big dreams, big sights since I was a kid. Doing things that I like, let the pieces fit. I like the pain, feel alive when I'm under it. I could change, adapt, do what I need to. All these obstacles, they looking see-through. Don't let the anger out, just let it feed you. I'll see you at the top, just let me teach you.
Move forward in the battle like soldier. Enemies win like closer. Top of the chain, stay on it. Yeah, got a different motive. I don't need any help from my owner. You see my name on posters. You could call me POTUS. I got all the votes.
They be like, really? You got a milli from doing something silly? I'm like, chilly, I've been killing for decades now, Billy. Or maybe like several years, but who's counting really? I just know how to turn something silly into a million. Got a lot to say, and a lot need to hear it. You don't quit today, we don't stop, no, we feel it to the top. Yeah, we change our whole world, yeah, we steer it. Getting lost in the things that make us unreal, giving up. I'm the first one to turn up, learn stuff. But mostly I'm just in the lab getting work done. Cause the bills on the first, takes the worst song. I'll never forget being broke, man, it hurts, son. But not as bad as not having any purpose. I took stabs, it's
Oh, hi. Buffo, I had you going. You Anyways, welcome back, everybody. We're in the game here as it's now time for our second map. It's going to be Nuke with, of course, our favorite teams. Permita starts off very strong on our game number 1, but Hussars kind of had a solid midpoint. It was the way that they finished that second half, which you talked about in our pre-show, that they kind of struggle with here. So, Puffo, are you going to be looking at Hussars the same way after Permita seemingly, even while making misplays, still had a very strong lead?
Am I going to be looking at Hussars the same way? Now, I think so, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Again, going on to Nuke, you want to make sure you're going to be going in as good as you can, because this is Permita's pick. This is where they're confident. This is where they're comfortable. Even though they had a bit of a jest yesterday and not necessarily showing everything against the likes of SK9, Hussars had to struggle through it, and they definitely had their same mistakes as we were just shown on Dust 2. Their mid-game was a bit rough, their second as well. Even though they still won it, it's not the best going in against a team like Permita, so I'm hoping that they're going to be able to show something new.
Me too. Honestly, I think that Hussars have kind of shown up, though, as a team that doesn't win first games and then completely changes their play style. There's a good shot at these guys just having a rough start, completely 180ing. Having a decent game, completely 180ing. It's going to be very interesting to see what their main strategies are, but overall, what I'm looking forward to the most is, will Permita be able to, kind of clean up their act? Because the mistakes they're making are a little bit of minor mistakes, like just game sense wise. They're really solid mechanically, but the gameplay from the team decision, maybe their IGL's a little bit on vacation right now. I got to see some more coordination from them, because right now they're relying on, he's just going to shoot that guy. This guy's going to die because I'm going to shoot him. It's like, that's the game plan for half of these. And I think that they could do a little bit better than that, especially on Nuke, where you have to coordinate if you're going to get out of these tight chokes.
100%. You really have to work in well with your timings and team chemistry in general, because mostly when it comes down, let's say T side for the side of Nuke, it's 3 entries if you want to go down to B, and if you want to contest A, taking over A is a difficulty. The post plant might be a bit easier, but getting there is a hell on its own, and well, if you want to get there or to B, you got to work together. You got to work with utility and timings from your team, so if you don't do that, well, it's going to be just a difficult time in general. But speaking of Nuke, how about we speak less about it and show the actions these teams will be bringing with a pistol already on live, SQ with 2, while SCR and Flea are going to be doubling down to return just about the same count, as the plant is already going down from Permita.
All right, not a bad setup, not a bad start for these teams, and I'm thinking maybe we could see a real shutdown for Hussars if they can keep it going, but oh my god, Permita, they're looking a little bit worse for wear. It's just going to be up to Ophi, who has managed to... Am I confused? No, he was not alive. I thought he was alive, but no, he was not able... No, he was alive. He just didn't stop the defuse.
Seems that
understandable.
That's it. There we go. Hussars are going to be winning the round number 1, and well, off to a bit of a janky start. Permita here are also looking to force by their way into a possible equivalence of the round, and at the same time play a bit more aggressive with this utility, smoking out and trying to find the secret entry, but still being very cautious of who might be around the corner. And well, it's going to be Fatson, but not much longer.
Nice. Decent shot. I mean, this is why we've been seeing them pick up a lot of scouts. They have very solid snipers, and when you get the headshot, you are practically using an op now. You one-hit people, but are you going to be able to keep up that consistently? Now, Lowell trying to just anchor this down. Has 2 players here. This pincer very tight for the people pushing long, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to be enough here for these players to really lock it in. Now, I want you to see the picks coming out here on the other side of the map. A few here as another player falls, and Flea being able to guard long. Very well played. Not going to be too easy here, but... Ooh. Nice shot.
Well played. Even with a clear advantage when it comes down to eco, Permita still gave Hussars a hell of a battle, but not being able to win it out will resort to them being left down to pistols again. And will they go for another force buy? Doesn't seem like it. Deagle's at max, gonna be a smart move, and even though they are on the CT side, I do believe, No, actually, they're going to be on the T side. Okay, so they're on the... Yes, just double checking. Hazard should be winning this out, but there's only the XM from Eski, and I'm just wondering where he's going to be put.
Oh, shots over by ramp, taking it slow. Nice pick though. Oh, Flea just keeping it with the over aggression, constantly trying to get that angle off. Fash going to do his own job, and now we're going to be seeing Snow holding it down. So far though, these pistols not looking too good, and Ophi, the last player standing, just executed from behind with a shotgun. XM10 doing what it can, and that is a flawless round from Hazards. I mean, clearly these guys wanted to be on Nuke, so Permita picking it, maybe they didn't do enough VOD review.
Maybe not enough. Hazards here are really doing them in good, or that so-called just from Permita we talked about yesterday was their true gameplay. But again, Permita picking Nuke here so early on. Not necessarily sure what the decision was, but these were only 3 rounds. So let's give them a bit of time to warm into it, and especially considering this is going to be the first legitimate, I would say, rifle round. But the push here from Permita is going to be something astonishing, and even able to pick up a kill. But Eski with a shotgun up from behind quickly returns it as the op has been lost. Will it be picked up? Not too sure, but definitely starting to approach secret side with Faj able to contest SCR, get a kill, get a second as well, quickly followed up, and Eski, someone stop him already, picks up a better gun for the love of God, and Snow delivers the final blow, and Hazard's already 4 up, exactly what we saw from Permita in map number 1.
Very clean from these guys, and now I think that what we can see from Permita is again trying to play off the back here of this team. It's not going to be too easy, though. At the end of the day, you're looking at a team that has completely locked in their Nuke gameplay. And Permita, they do have some decent aim, but I think they're going to have to just try to force close quarters. And right now, that's doing ramp with the Tech 9 rush.
Flea. Nasty with it. The Deagle is going to be striking top. The plant might be going down, but ramp is still being heavily contested by 2 players, and now it's going to be a game of time. Setting only 1 player to go for the plant without any coverage, a risky move, but it gets Permita to the ground they needed, as now Hazards are forced to push back.
All right. Now it's a push in. They're already on the point, and they're ready to try to just smoke it off and go for the defuse. A clean read on 2. That's going to be a complete massacre, but the bomb is not planted for these guys. They can't stop the defuse, and yes, they got the money down, but it is going to be another round, the 5th round here for Hazards. Permita, great aggression. They got on the point. It was a save. They got a couple picks. They got the bomb plant. So honestly, that's exactly what they were going for. I can't really blame them for not winning the round, though.
And I'm hoping Hazards can split their team a bit better. They're really good at working in a specific aspect of the map, like we saw A in the previous map, right? But their B was left completely uncontested, similarly to just how we saw it. 1 player or 2 just playing around each other while the entirety of Permita rushed on by and did a difficult gunfight. So, for the rest of it, we're going to have to see a bit more alignment, but as for the beginning, Faxon and 19 will be getting a kill under their own belts, and Glaj able to keep it within distance, but STR quickly equalizes out the count. Although low HP on some of these players, Hazards are still playing quite aggressive considering they're on the CT.
Nice from 19. Now, we do not have that bomb down quite yet. We still have a couple people on Permita lurking, trying to find a little bit of value. But at the end of the day, it is going to be coming down to some of these shots. And there we go. Lol, clean with the pistol. And that's going to really put a wrench in the cog that is Permita's gameplay. Hopefully, we can try to turn this game around. But with this bomb getting planted, do they have enough time to re-hit?
These 5 rounds have gone by instantly, and Permita need to start showing a bit more movement here. They've been stalled, staggered, and left in the past. The Hazards keep pushing forward, and now the smoke gone. We're just left wondering where the final 2 players are going to be coming from. It's going to be a bit of that Molly forced to push, able to find a spray, but it's all going to be left down to a 1v1 between 19 and Laj. And Laj is now the one wondering where the final one is as he reveals himself, and still the connection comes through. Hazards have flawlessly now found themselves a split within the first half, and a draw already guaranteed.
Wow. 6-0. Hazards, I don't know how they're able to just pull this through so consistently. I mean, clearly, the new guys on the block have been delivering. Lol 3K, Eski, absolutely beautifully played. But Permita, we saw them kind of have a similar start on Nuke, where they they had a really strong first game, and then they didn't really play the smartest or the best on the second map of Nuke, but then they just turned it off. They just stopped being a bad team for a second and just were like, let's lock in, let's win the game. Is Permita doing that again, or is Hussars just better than them?
And if they are doing that again, how long is it going to take for that switch to be flipped yet again? Permita, you're allowing Hussars with way too many rounds. I mean, 6-0 already. It's flawless. They are robbing you of rounds, and a shot like that can't be missed off. And you need to connect some of these, just like 19 is. That's for a great example. Remy there with a good chain onto the second. And while the Hussars might be 2 down, look at them. They're still waiting for some punches to come on from behind because the fight back is always real with them. And now trying to contest. They know they need the ones. Snow is going to be finding the first one here for Hussars, but that's just now where they're going to be stopping. Permita aren't either, though. They're looking to contest B, and, well, with 2 players, Hussars have none on that bottom floor.
Huge. Just a huge opening here for Permita. They need this round to definitely go in their favor if they want to have any chance at starting off CT strong, but that's a good way to do it. STR able to execute one. Molly's the corpse, so the guy can't drop with the smoke immediately. Yeah, that's going to be hand read there by STR. Now Flea looking for the last. Here's the flash. Here's the util. Can he punish? That's the round. They're on the board.
Finally. Took only 7 rounds, but the switch up here is crazy, right? I mean, we've been seeing flawless rounds from Hussars, and some can be excused by Permita because they were on pistols, right? But not all of them. The round rifle rounds have been definitely difficult for Permita, and I don't know what happened, but currently they worked as an actual team, and that's what we've been waiting to see from them. That's the Permita we're used to, and never too late. You can still come back quite decently, and considering they're on the T side, I imagine they're looking forward to swapping the roles, but there's still 5 remaining. Let's see what happens.
Let's see if it's gonna be enough. You do have now CT's getting a little bit aggro here. The Molly's on point, trying to just scare these players back, but what a flash. Great read, but it's not enough to get the 2. And the 1-for-1 trade, will that be all she wrote? Unfortunately, though, Faja is incredibly low, and we do have the ramp players pushing into the op, and boom, baby, there goes Remy. But now it's op versus op, and are we going to be seeing a return to center? The flash is perfect, but the second shot doesn't connect.
Good nade. 19. Feeling himself, but also holding out the entry for his teammates, which are looking to fight back against it, and Afi going to be returning it back to the center. Legend now falls. You get back into an equal position, and instead of forcing yourself into that plant, you're simply going to be waiting for Hussars to make a move first. But Permita, it's free ground. You've gained it multiple times. Go for it again.
So clean. So very clean for these guys. And now Permita wants to keep this energy going, but in a 3v3, are they going to anticipate Snow? The answer is they do, but the no-scope from Afi. Execution to trade it out, but Eski still alive. Now 2 players are remaining, and they're both low. Ophi has an opportunity here, but will he be good enough? The op's still in his hands, looking to try to nade off one. Eski might just have the timing on him.
Bomb was outside. Final 2 approaching. He's sticking it through, and usually pros don't fake, but Avi, that was not a risk worth it. Eski were quick enough to duel up and find you as the final in an unfortunate situation where you're given the op as the final player. And AK here definitely would have served better considering the HP Hussars had to have, but matters not. Hussars will not be winning the first half.
A little bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. And getting into what we're seeing from Permita, they're just making some misplays. I think Afi going for that plant spot in the first place, very risky. Should have known that both of the players remaining were low. You know, this should be communicated to his team, and he's still using an op close quarter combat. He didn't pick up an AK when he definitely had the advantage, but now Hussars, they're gonna be reeling in that dough thanks to this miss. And Permita, though, they know this is a best of 5. They should be able to really just set this up. However, I need to see something different on the CT side, or maybe just start getting some more picks if you're players like 19 and Remy.
Right. 100%, especially from Permita. I mean, in general, we've seen them do the picks, we've seen them do it for one round, so why can it not be repeated? And that's exactly what we're talking about. Flea coming in with a long-range gunfight, able to acquire one. The second one going to be quickly caught, hook, line, and sinker. And just like that, Hussars are now getting reeled in 3v5, but a quick shot back here from Laj. Not going to be allowing this fight to be so easy for the C side, although they still hold an advantage, and now looking to force their way into A.
Nice there from Snow. Takes out Offie in a just reasonable fashion here. But what I'm looking at now is low 3K looking for an opening, and that's going to be Remy taking one more shot, one more down. And now it's going into the molly and actually managing to get his, burning his toes, but it's just Lowell. They know exactly where he is, but in a 1v1, mechanical skill and time. Beautiful molly. And oh my god! Where did they find this guy last night?
I don't know, but get yourself a teammate like Lalik. You clearly need him right now. Hussars are doing great work with him. And even without the kit, instantly gets the job done. Didn't waste a single second. Although for Permita, I'm starting to see some of these plant spots. I think the reason we saw the 1v2 plant spot earlier was because the player didn't necessarily want to get peeked from Raptors. And now they went in for the 1v1. And my major concern here is, again, Permita aren't going for these refracts. They hold an advantage, but then they keep on swinging, thinking they're going to get all 5 ones under the belt. And, well, we clearly see the result from that.
There we go. Coming out swinging. Unfortunately, Permita swing and a miss for them a lot of these rounds. And case in point, what? He hit the ramp. Oh, no, he did get Remy. He did get Remy there. I thought for a second he did not. But now it's going to be another one. But Flea with the 2-piece. God, this guy is so good with these rifles. But are they going to be good enough to take out Lowell, who has been pretty much locking down these clutch scenarios?
Real game changer, but Smoke is going to make this battle a bit more difficult. You got to be checking your lefts here. That's crossing the road. That's where you're met with Eski. Flea still able to tag Kalal in a fight, and now trying to clear out these vents, but Offie taking a lot of damage. And again, he's fighting the battle alone, just like Flea, who has now been isolated from his last teammates, and with an up, 4 HP, and not a lot of chances to work with.
Yeah, this is not the optimum position. I mean, even pushing down here with the op to begin with is very risky, especially with how close quarters honestly, no one's going to anticipate the double hold here in secret. This is a very strong CT strat, and Permita just walked right into it. But Elfie, 4 HP, $50, probably going to have to save.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Just go for the save. Don't give Hussars an op. Don't give them any extra credits. Let it be. They have the bomb. You have no chance of winning, especially with the utility they hold. Even a molly here might get used in the final few moments. There's another one just to ensure it. And of course, we are going to get booted out. Now, of course, we do apologize for that. This is not something we can affect. This is just normal FACEIT issues. But as we return to our faces, we know the result of the round, so not much is going to be kept away from you. And now we can talk a bit more about it, Edu, because Permita are struggling. This is not what we saw in Dust.
It's not only not what we saw in Dust, it's not what we saw yesterday at all. This is just a little bit of a disappointment game, but at the same time, Hussars, they are the second map demons. They know this map by like the back of their hands. This is where they really shined against Wallshine, or Manshine. So with Manshine not being able to play very good against them, maybe it wasn't a team diff, maybe it was a Hussars diff, as we've said it and as we coined it yesterday. And Permita, I think they're now finding that they don't really have an answer for this team yet, especially with 2 new ones. Even if they did VOD review, who's going to prepare you for LoL 3K?
Oh yeah, 100%. And even with that, just making this seem like a Hussar-sided map. That are now looking to charge on in, but little do they know they're going to be met with the grim fate of death. And Askew with 1, Snother with a second. Flea is looking to contribute a bit to the team, but it's not going to be going for anything, as with the help of Lodge and Permita have been instantly shut down. The entry onto site only to step into a graveyard. And Offie, the last one yet again. How much times have we seen Offie in a constant 1v4 with the op and being the last one standing? Poor player.
Offie, He's gonna have to go for another save. I mean, it's a 1v4. You got $50. You're not really gonna be doing much here. Your life investment behind you, but you know who else is behind you? It's gonna be Fash. And honestly, Ophi might be able to get the drop, but it's too late. Lol's just gonna get aggro. Not even wait for his teammates flank. He just says, "I got it," and that's double digits in the first half.
Ooh, that's not a good sign here. Permitta, I gotta be real with you for a moment here. You are not giving yourselves the credit that needs to be given, because currently 10-1, possibly looking to bring it to 11, because Hazars, I mean, are they struggling with Aurico? Certainly not. You, on the other hand, are barely getting around with Galils.
Here it is, though. Just having to run it down, going out long. Might be able to get one trade here for a Galil for AK, but that's really not going to be up to them. The timing, though. Oh. Okay, no, 1, 2, like 3. Oh my gosh!
No! He mows them down! Another Eski! 4 have been just exterminated, and Permitta are gonna get taken out. There's one for Afi, who unsurprisingly is gonna be in a 1v4 situation. Haven't seen that before. Lalik delivering the final blow. 11-1. Edu, we're gonna need group therapy for this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, Permitta right now probably needs to have some circle time. In my esports org, that's when all of our players sit down on the floor and talk to one another and just kind of, go in a circle. So you're going to have a therapeutic session, as you said it. But Hazar is here 10 rounds above Permitta with now a T side, which with how aggressive their outside pushes have been on the CT side, I think we might be seeing a very fast second half. But if one team could do it, the other team can mirror it. And here's Eski starting off strong with a very pushed up position.
Let's see, Permitta. Dropped. Eski here going to be a good one to start it. Faj with a quick follow-up, and just like that, the pistol seems to be claimed already by Hazard, but taps here in, coming from the side of Flea, and out coming from Lol's chamber, as 2 are delivered. Remy going to be the last one standing, and with Hazard's potentially, or even just presumably winning out this round, they're also going to have a better eco going into the next one, and is this the final resort? We get to see the dual Berettas here attempted, but Remy no fight back, and Hazard's 12-1, only 1 round to be lost is definitely a message to spread.
Absolutely. And now we have a message to spread to you guys here. As Permitta is in a 1v12, are they ready to retake these sites? As Hazars is so aggressive, they will get on and they will plant it. That's right. We have a code for you guys. It's called Retake Ready, and you can use it right now to get yourself an increased chance at the Gleam.io giveaway. So make sure, Retake Ready, one word, and looks like they're never ready for Ophi's Scout. That's going to be the first start, but it is just one in a larger domino chain.
Yep. Soon after, another will quickly fall, but not just yet. We reserve that for the later part of the round, because currently Hazards have different priorities, and it's taken out 19 and taking themselves into B, with Remy from Vents going to be able to pick up 1. The UMP-45 going to be currently switched out, but going in for the swing here against the side of Flea. Eski still fighting back against it. Body's going to be dropping downstairs and actually sliding into the hands of Remu, who's looking to come in for these shots in the back. Afi able to help him out, take out Eski, but now A has been left uncontested.
Now it's time to shine. 2v2. Remy, very low. Lash, a little low. But will it be enough? There are some AKs here for us. And Scout not quite hitting its mark, but Lol's going to get one. And to end the game off, he's looking for the final. And it's a one tap. And that is a 1-13 scoreline. Permitta not permitted to get any more than 1.
Wow. 13-1 is incomparable to what we saw on Dust 2 with a 13-8, but Permitta here are going to be hoping to bring it back a bit more towards Ancient, and, well, that's the positive side of it. While, though, this was a dominating match, Hazards do struggle on Ancient unless these 2 new additions to the roster are going to be completely switching that aspect around, and, well, I mean, it's 1 for 1. This is what we want from a grand final. Even though we might be seeing map number 5, I don't want all these maps to be dominant. Permitta, you've shown us the talent. Now display it.
Yeah, display the talent for us. Show up here, okay? It's the best of 5. It's the finals. and you are now tied 1-1 with our next map coming in here. Going to be very intriguing for them. Of course, it's going to be Ancient, picked by Hussars. So remember, they had a struggle on this map. Now they're ready to try to run it back. But Permita, they do not like losing like this. Either their mental's cooked or they've already reset and thought about the next one. So we're going to have to wait and find out if Ancient is really going to be a different story.
That and it's working, but I still grind every day for that thirst. It's a curse being first. I still gotta get my work done.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller, move forward in the game. I'm crazy, be at the top of the yeah, I got a different motive. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You see my name on posters, you could call me Vegas. I got all the voters. Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn way. Ain't nobody tell me shit, I'm on top of it. Writing hits that make other people feel like writing hits. We gon' get every little goal that we wanna get. Never quit, we don't even know what it means to quit. Write it down, what you want, what you need, what you see. Everything that you wanna be. Put it out in the world, that's your destiny. In your mind, what you need is to have belief. I'm gonna make it to the top, cause I never stop. My own switch doesn't have enough. I think it's broken, I think it's lost. I guess that's why I never take a loss. Don't give up, just believe and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you gotta win. Don't fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see. Don't give up, just believe and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you gotta win. Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion and leave it behind, gotta quit. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen, man. You could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The highlight is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase on. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you can do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your work go up like inflation, and start chasing your dreams, stop waiting. Low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can.
We now return to map number 3, about to be underway, and well, it's going to be Ancient right after Nuke, and its unexpected outcome with a 13-11 going in Hussars, able to convert this best of 5 into a best of 3. It's still me, Puffle Bob, on the mic, and to my right and to your left will be lovely Edo. Edo, how are you doing?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good after watching a complete upset from Permita here. Not exactly the setup that you would want to expect from these guys, and it looks a little bit rough, I'm not gonna lie. Permita here, definitely a team that I was coming into this saying that they were one of the strongest teams in the game. Not anymore. Not anymore for pretty good reason after that showcase on Nuke, but this is going to be a pretty weak map here for Hussars. This is a map that they were really struggling in, and I think that might give them an opportunity to not quite show up yet. I think we have a little bit more time here with them.
Yeah, 100%. But again, Hazards are having a bit of a roster change today, so 2 players being switched out has definitely showed its results in the previous map, but at the same time, maybe that's where they find a bit more success on Ancient. Well, that's at least what they're hoping for, because yet again, both these teams are now going to be fighting for series points, so there's a lot on the line, because while though we get to see Mirage, that's going to be 100%, Train might not be there if one of these teams go now round back to back.
Yeah, let's take a look at our new map. Let's take a look at what we got here with Ancient, and let's hope that Permitta can get a couple more on the board. I think that they're also kind of receiving what they were dealing last game. You know, they were a little bit egotistical with some of the ways that they were playing, and now they've been met with a team that has earned the spot to the finals.
100%, and well, they can't just go off and with raw aggression alone. They need to play a bit more as a team, and because, well, Hazards are certainly going to be shoving them back to that type of space with utility, so much of it as well in this pistol round. They're already looking to make an entry here, and well, Permitta have done so successfully. A bit of shots against him, Plant is going down, but difficulty through the smoke as Eski finds a bunch of damage.
Ooh, here we are. Nice little lurk from Flea. Being able to grab that one will open up for the retake here. Not being as easy, but another close quarter combat. 19 though. The pistol's all he's got, and it's just going to be up to Flea now, who's doing all that they can, but it's a push from Snow to try to level it out, and it is done and dusted. Permitta tying with their previous score.
Tying it up, and now hopefully looking to get a couple more, because if Hazards now start a 13-round streak, I'm going to be disappointed. You know, I'm going to be disappointed because I know that Permitta won't allow that to happen. We could expect them to do a bit greater going in with the second round as well. And considering they're on the T side currently, which, again, this map is CT sided, but with how these teams have been playing, I don't think that's a valid statement to make.
Yeah, it's a very different feel in this game than yesterday's new or Ancient. So let's see if maybe Hazards can start playing their money better. But look at this, they're actually keeping a hold of mid very successfully thanks to what we have here from Faj. But will it be enough? I think they do spot him, and the peek right into the AK. There goes their mid control. You got one player by Donut trying to maybe find one opening here, and no, not really gonna happen quite yet. Mac 10's time to rush.
Time to rush, and they're going to be able to pick up 2. That's going to be Permitta with a really solid double. As Hazards are left with 2, speaking of that number, while one of them is still going to be around their own spawn, trying to find any value. While Permitta, it seems like both these teams have swapped positions from their starting point. STR though with a go right to where they began, and Afu with a good second spray around Donut, able to put a hole into Hazard's score as it's still that big fat 0.
Yeah, still looking a little bit worse for wear here. And unfortunately, when you are taking a peek at Hazards, you still have that mid weakness, but this is very early to talk about because they have not had a rifle round. Now with the save coming through, they will be able to get into this round, maybe kind of showcase what they are able to do, especially with this newer roster, with these 2 new players that we didn't get to see on this map yet. So definitely a room for improvement. However, again, look at Permitta taking over mid control and executing and keeping it going with anybody lurking up, just falling. And now that is a free mid and a lurk pushing up. But talk about push up, Eski, it's going to be good for 1.
Going to be good for 1. An extra 1 wouldn't hurt, but Permitta are looking to make it hurt after the result they were dealt. And I feel like they're starting to have a bit of this vengeance game be brought around, coming in for a really aggressive swing here. Trying to find it through the smoke. Eski thought they could come out sneakily, but it's going to be Permitta going into it, try to cover up their own tracks. And as for Snow, completely stuck between 4. The entirety of Permitta looking to lock you down, but the fight back is so real. And able to find one. The second one doesn't expose the planter. Still being shot back through, but the headshot there for the M4 yet again. And now going to be keeping Hazards on his own back. Is finally going to be taken out after a couple. And now with the utility, you're going to flush the last one. A good spray from STR to finish the job as Permitta now 3 in a row.
Wow, just so clean to shut these guys down. And now what I'm looking at is a team that clearly should stop picking this map. You know, it's been a little bit rough, and that's where I'm hoping that they're going to be able to really change the tune of things here. But one thing's for certain, Hazards, they have Eski, who's been able to get some decent pickups here. And that could be enough. That could be all that they need to really change it. But it's actually going to be the real picks here from Ledge. This Deagle making its work, but Remy getting it down. Remy getting it all the way traded outright. And this can definitely set the stage for a newfound aggressive play style. STR getting another, but it's 3-3 here. Very interesting to see if Permita is going to allow Hussars to keep up this.
Yeah, Hazard's real great performance they just displayed because they used the power of numbers here, and although numbers are going to be set down to 2 against 2, obviously taking a lot of damage, but his team's quickly returned here. With the help of Amali, though, final 2 are finished. A Deagle wallbang as well for Snow, and now Permita will lose their first round. Hazards, I like that. I like that a lot. They used their numbers again, just grouped up on these 2 players, trying to go through Lamps and Cave, but they couldn't outwin these battles. They were surrounded, which forced Permita to close in on them from the outside, and that didn't end up going their best.
Yep, didn't exactly do what I was kind of hoping that they were going to be able to pull through with, but at the end of the day, how are they going to be able to keep up this very aggro style? You know, what I need to see is Hussars kind of just slowing them down, and what a high ground op shot, not going to be able to get the flick here. Puffo, looks like they are going to have a very aggro T side, but bombs on the other side of the map.
Yep, just somewhere completely else, and Molly going to be striking for another. Seems like Utility still has a name inside this game. And as for the side of Hazards, as well, though they are approaching this site, Permita still have some utility. We see a fully stacked Omni, while Remy going to be going after swings, trying to use those bullets, and we're looking in the wrong direction, Eski. Now it's left down to Snow, who clears out some of the smoke, but it's going to be only in the favor of Remy, able to shut down the final 3 as well, and keep Permita within a 3-round lead.
Very clean here from these guys, and honestly, Permita needs this timeout just a little bit to kind of, you know, get their player 19 back. That'd be a pretty useful thing to have. But what I also am looking at here is going to be the loss bonus being picked up by Hussars. They should be able to, even when they keep throwing their rounds at this team over and over again, now they can start doing it with rifles way more often, which could be the make or break for this entire set. So well, let's hope that they're going to be able to keep up that energy. But from what we saw, they've lost all momentum from that previous game.
Yeah, definitely. Either that or Permita's been able to somehow miraculously pick it back up from nothing, but whichever one it's going to be, it starts off in a similar path, and Tail, as old as this match has been ongoing for, but still falling first, and a quick follow-up here with Lalak not being able to necessarily hit those dots. 2 already here for Permita to claim, and the third one doesn't follow. Yes, it does. SDR with a beautiful swing. Just like that, Hazards going to be left down to their 2 standing pillars.
Nice there from the mid play. Alfie able to get a trade off and just finish off the round with some style. But again, Hussars going for the save instead of the buy means that now they should be able to completely pull out everything that they can. And really, what that means is the op. If they can just keep with this op, they will be having a significantly better time. However, I am looking at Permita, who has been, as we can see in this clip, taken mid for free no matter what stage of this round it gets to. So overall, very happy with what we're watching.
100%. That's something that Hazards are quite, I would say, oh god, Badger just snuck up on round 1, and Eski with alongside the name we've already called up before, just going to be able to exterminate instantly. Permita are now left only with 1, and it's Oppie trying to make a break into ramp, but gonna get shot with a wallbang from Ladger's Op. I was about to say how Hazards always struggle on this midpoint, and that's why they're going to be taking the fight onto side directly.
Very smart, very clean from these guys. Now, though, what is the strategy for Permita? As we've now seen, okay, Hussars is able to kind of hit us back. That aggression coming out from Fash was so clean. And if Fash could keep it going, maybe this is going to be another Hussar map. But that's taken with a grain of salt.
Oh, 1 for 1, an eye for an eye, and although the op for the Tech 9 Offie is just going to be getting started with only 2, that's only for him. Wants the ace, wants the 3K. That was going to be the third. No, it actually won't be. The flick does not connect, and Offie going to have to back off of that gunfight and let his teammates take over. Remy trying to continue where it was left off, but now as it's starting to get settled down, the action ready to pick back up. Permita right now holding quite patiently as his arms are running out of time. That's a second with a spray there. Smart finds it. jumping right on through the smoke into the loving arms of 19. And with 3 against 2, Hazard seem to still want to fight.
Yeah, Hazard's very happy about this current positioning here, and they are just now in a 1v1. And it's over, because who's going to anticipate Remy standing on site within his own smoke, completely locking these players down? This is the kind of rounds that you really want to be keeping your eye on. And now, getting into this next round here, Permita is still having a bye. They're kind of out of their backup reserves. They're out of their funds. They have gotten some plants, but Hussars, though, they keep on putting in so much effort into these rounds, coming down to just the wire and not able to clutch it up, which pretty much sums up the first 6 rounds of Nuke.
Yeah, Permita not bottlenecked with the current piggy bank, but gonna be resorting with absolute violence. Remy was flashed, but still able to pick up 2. Snow and Fatson are both just gonna be lamps for the slaughter. And now for the first time in this entire matchup, I believe Permita are gonna be looking to stick it down to A.
Nice, good shots. 2 already fall, but it's a trade from both sides. And now it's the lurk from 19, clearing up and opening up this site for these players, but they will be able to grab that bomb and rotate. They will keep this energy going. However, we've been in this position before. The 2v2, the bomb getting planted, and there's still some time. However, there's not a lot of util. No util for Permita. There are quite a bit. Okay, so they smoke themselves off. That's interesting.
Yeah,
oh, for the flank. They try to bait it a bit.
Definitely worked out in some favor, but questionable decisions. Now all left down to 19, holding it. Where do they stand? Barrels revealed, headshot as well, and nicely able to find the shot. Eski finishes the job. Hazard's with her 3rd round. And those extra funds from the 4-round loss streak definitely coming in quite handy.
Yeah, very clean to now get them towards having a decently close half. You know, they've already gotten 3 times the score as Permita has, even though this is a flip on a significantly worse map for them. But talking about what Permita has, it's not the best buys. You're looking at Hussar, who pretty much has figured out what their main strategy is. It's the split, lurk, take A. Take B. And if they can't really do that, then they're going to have to just completely switch it up with a very aggro play in mid. And, not really sure where we're finding the value holding that smoke.
Nope, doesn't seem like it. No one necessarily knows, but I guess it results in a kill for one team in Permita, with their standing power tower of Pisa will not be coming out on top as Fat just decides to confront them directly and get 2 in return here. Hazard's off to a greater start than they were at the very beginning, but still not over just yet as they need to deny Permita and their entry onto site. And with Deagles and Tech 9s, it's going to be a difficult battle.
Very tough round here as it's another op right to the brainstem. Another shot down, but this is where Permita has the opportunity here. They do have a chance at finding another gun if they can just keep the lurk up, but they actually don't pick up the gun that we saw dropped in bottom mid. Might have been lost in time, but at the end of the day, pushing right into the CT spawn. Faz is kind of reading this very well. Or are they going to be able to swing together? Looks like they do get spotted. And oh my god, Faj actually gets taken out like this.
No.
And the op gets taken out. Flee! The corner checks SDR! They can do this. It's a 2v3. It's just Lol left. But do they know where he is? They know now. She doesn't have a gun. It's just a deagle. Okay. Good damage. Permita able to keep up the spree of hurt onto Hussars. Now, that was a very good save. Almost too good in Hussars' POV.
But, just like with the scoreline earlier, a bit too good to be true. There it was. It was so close and already had me on the edge of my seat, which does make sense since I'm standing, but you get the memo. 3 kills here between the two and almost a 2v4 clutch with a Tech 9 and a Deagle. That is the definition of ambition here. Permita aren't taking their enemies so lightly. They know who they're up against and they're going to bring all the guns they can to it, but you got to be careful of your positioning. And just like that, 19 going to be able to return it, but it's kept thanks to Hazard and Patson put in the work. And mid still contested quite heavily. Heaven's going to be popped a good shot right through it. 19 able to contribute for just another and keep them with even ground. But the op there from Hazard brings it back to leverage. Lolic with a second quickly right after. And STR stuck on mid side, fighting a losing battle. And Eski with the right shots between the eyes.
Exactly what I wanted to see from Hussars for so long now. For a whole 48 hours, I've been looking at this guy, these guys, trying their best to really pop it off. But at the end of the day, Permita still is in the lead. And they still have the lead thanks to Dust2's 13-8 scoreline. Ancient, though, I think might go in the hands of Hussars if they could just manage to tie this game up. And they definitely have the advantage here. Permita has one less player and a lot less gun.
That they do. And well, now they're just trying to force it through, and they're going to be getting away with 119. Also pick it up with the AK. That's going to be a great advantage. Now, can he carry it? That's another question. But sight. There's the headshot. Lola gonna fall, and already a second for ours is now we're just looking for any hopeful shots, maybe tertiary random ones through smoke. Not coming through.
Not coming through enough, and here comes a little bit of an aggressive play through the smoke. However, I'm looking at that mid lurk. You still have STR trying to buy some time, getting around behind them. He's tapping away, but he's not quite finding enough value here. But he's just baiting these guys to stick around and watch their flank. Snow holding a W down. 1 in and 19 stuck behind the box, but his teammates still buying time. But it's not enough. The spray transfer isn't there. And Hussars manages to take it while the pincer manages to break.
6-6 half. This is an interesting conclusion for both of these teams. Again, especially with Permita starting off so dominantly and Hazards then again ramping it up as time goes, getting themselves just by the thread of this split and also able to draw it out. Now converting it to a T side as well, the roles will be reversed. While in the meanwhile, Permita, there have been some close rounds, but those were pistols. So I'm not too sure how we'd want to work around that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the main strategy for these guys are, but so far with the swap, it looks like we do have that very aggro B play coming out from Hussars. This is kind of what we've known them to do. They would like just keep pushing the same thing over and over again. Hopefully they're going to be able to bring us some more variety, but Remy getting to just get that one for free in front of an entire team. There's the punish though, and now the mollies are out, the pushback is real, and that is going to be the bomb planted.
Sticking, good headshots. Second, 19 not going to be fighting much longer as Fashion and Eski put him into the grave, but it's going to be the entrant from Flea here to make a game changer. 2 against 2. With the support from Fadge finally coming in from Laj. The double J's here trying to fight back against it, but Flea just going to be a contender worthy of both of them. Time is running out though, and you don't have the kit, but the headshots are there and connected as well.
Wait,
but the team kill from Laj. No, Hazard is not like this. This isn't how teamwork is.
I mean, I honestly thought Flea had gotten that anyways, because we've seen yesterday on Mirage what this guy could do with that USPS. But now, looking at it here, beautiful clutch, another scuffed round. I think, how many team kills did we see yesterday? You know, we even saw Ophi team killing STR a couple times just out of memes, you know, but this time it's Hussars who seemingly are missing their mark and hitting their team.
Yeah, you're definitely hitting something, just not the right target here. And while though it's still in the prep phase, I believe we're going to get a bit more aggressive between the two teams. Again, this mid push has been really prominent from the side of Permita. And well, they're going to be working quite nicely off of it. Eski with a Mac 10 going to find succession for one of the second as well. And although 3 have been just mowed down, Flea the only one fighting it back. But even though trades are happening, it's the refrag game where Hazards are able to keep it and a spray through the smoke to claim them the 7th round, back with another EQ.
Absolutely beautiful here, but as we are now getting into a tied game with so many of these players being able to show off their skills, our current code for you guys today is going to be Dry Peak Demon. And if you guys can let us know in the chat, who do you think is the Dry Peak Demon out of anybody here, let us know. But use that code in the Gleam.O giveaway, as we now have Permita versus Hussars tied up, rifles in the hands of the T's.
on the other hand, struggling to fight back against it, or maybe just narrowly going in for the second screen. Do we find the support needed to keep this player alive? The name is going to be there, the pushback as well, and although 2 had been exchanged for 2, numbers might be even. Permita are definitely at a disadvantage, and it's clearly shown as SK able to take that gunfight easily. Snow as well there, but a single tap from SDR still showing performance, as Hazard's going to be spread thin, the 2 players that remain. With the AK now picked up, it seems like it's going to be a bit more successful, and that's the bomb! The final one is approaching ramp, but smokes out, and even going into the smoke, SDR just peeks out like Batman, and able to get himself the final kill.
Beautiful. Beautiful round here for Permita to try to keep them up. And yes, that was an eco. Yes, that was a huge momentum shift. And now, with that being said, you do have Hussars broke. They have Eski with the hero rifle, but the Tech 9s have been really showing themselves up, and looks like LOL is going to go light armor hero rifle as well. However, there's a good chance that they do get absolutely melted for not having full armor, and this could be where Permita keeps it up, as they already get a complete shatter through mid with Snow falling through a smoke and a wall.
Solid structuring of the round, again, beginning to show their true craft of aggression, and these early rounds, some of them have been absolutely brutalizing for Hazars. Terrific for Permita on the other hand, and although now shut down by utility, giving both teams a bit of headspace to work with, a bit of that wiggle room, we are going to be sadly resorting to back to the lobby. So just to take it in for the moment being, Permita right now are looking quite stronger on the CT side. So maybe as much as this is a CT-sided map, Hazards are still having really good gunfights. And again, the teamwork for both of these teams clearly warmed up.
Yeah, these guys have definitely heated up, but as our server is now back, it's time to see who's back in action. It's Hazars down another player, and Permita very low on STR. Oh, this could be the execution though. Never mind, 19 with the spray transfer MP9. Leaves LOL the last one, and Ophi will be taking it. Now Permita back in the lead pretty handedly against the SARS.
Now grasping over that 10 mark and looking to further that reach upon the 11, 12, and maybe even 13, which again, series point on the line. Both these teams, they don't want to hand it off to the other, because then the next map could also be the final one. And considering it's Mirage, Permita are definitely looking forward to that map.
Here we are though. Permita, I think, definitely has figured out how to not completely toss a game. And now it's up to Hazars to show up and prove why they 13-1 them in the first place. But with nothing on their docket, it's going to be Eski, the last player standing, 6 HP, managing to get 2 pieces down. This could be it, but he has to hold his own. If they get the plant, very worth it. If he doesn't, he's still got 2. He might be able to get a 3rd.
He's out for the moment. And there's Ophi. Instant execution. Maybe 2 are lost for Permita, but what does it matter when Hazards are completely shut out of the competition, as now 3 rounds ahead. The bonus is also going to slowly start showing itself here for Hazards, but not just yet. They're going to have to full buy into this, trying to maybe keep themselves within the competition, but as of far with how this map is going to go, and Permita currently looking comfy and seated into the CT side.
Seated in. Do have a little bit of aggression from 2 CT players. No one really on A. They know that this could be a read for him, and they are going to be good for 1. Remy's traded off though, and another through the smoke from Lash, huge. And Eski's going to keep it down. Hazars return to center the aggression and will be able to keep this movement going. But Permita isn't down yet. They've managed to do these 2 round versus 4 clutches before.
Right back where it came from. Permita, you don't want to be going ban for ban when the smoke is between you and the enemies, because your enemies are Hazards and smokes are merely a suggestion, but same goes when it comes down to a 1v4 here, as Ophi's going to either need to save or just simply break, trying to go for a huge clutch, which, not impossible, but again, are we really thinking we can come out on top with this one? Definitely not, seeing as the positioning from Ophi is already far gone from the site.
Yep, definitely going for the save. Kind of what Ophi's known for at this point. A lot of saves have happened in the past 35 minutes here, but at the end of the day, it is going to be Ophi's now time to find exits, and they have the opportunity, but They've been spotted, and there is one over by Donut. Look at this read. Oh my god. Are you seeing what Eski's doing? Looping all the way around, trying to catch him off in the spawn site. But I think he's been heard, but Eski doesn't care. Finds it. Beautifully played. And that's going to be now Hussars back in it in this second half.
They definitely needed that one. They were just about to break with their eco, but Permita, on the other hand, looking still a bit more viable going into this one. But the likes of Flea gonna struggle. The only one that wasn't able to afford a rifle, and no one else is able to do it for him, so gonna be just hoping to claim any guns off of either his teammates' corpses or maybe off of the fallen enemies.
Let's see this movement coming on up. We do have Permita trying to be, again, very aggressive here towards this B site, but will they actually find the mark, or will STR get theirs?
So close. Steps within distance. Permita, though, aren't looking to step out of bounds because they know Hussars will punish them if they do so. Again, we've seen a lot of B action. I'm starting to crave a bit of A as well. Molly there, gonna make it quite clear that Hussars don't want them standing next to Cave. But still with random sprays, they're looking to put on a bit of pressure, and Remy able to find two! What? It worked out!
God.
Just stay patient and stick to your guns. The silver bullet's through, and Hussars down too.
Well, with Hussars down 2, you are seeing at least one pickup. But what is this from... Why is Flea so good with the pistols? Let's see what he can do with the rifles now. Both of his teammates sticking together. And now these last two, buddy to buddy, shoulder to shoulder, waiting in this corridor to find one. And Eski will be able to succeed. But the Molly already online. They know exactly where Flea is. And now, they just lost the bomb. Oh, Remy! Oh my god! Great shots there.
What a read! Trace the bullets right back to where they came from, into the chamber of the final, and Permita now again 3 rounds ahead, 2 away from regulation victory, and 1 within distance of overtime guaranteed, and match point as well. They're fighting for a lot, but Hussars again gave us a rival here, just like it was on map number 1.
Nice big pickup there. Another chance for them to keep it clean, and oh my god, the upshot, it doesn't connect. And they're not going to be able to find too much value as they're getting flanked already, but you peek into him, he's going to just return that same energy. Another one down, but look at this lurk, hold up. We got Veg already up, calling out to his teammates, hey guys, A site's empty.
And Afi has no clue about it. Gonna be also handling a better gun here. Hussars now looking to make a bit of a comeback with these 3 rounds that are still very possible. But Permita, again, they lose this one. The eco's gonna be looking rough, and as much as they're now pushed out of their own sight, out of their own ground, Lalik, make sure an invader isn't gonna be welcome into his home, as Fajin, while they might be the only one to fall, still gonna be having to be very cautious of where you step into, because mid, Lalik has always been there, and it doesn't seem like the communication came through.
Yeah, not quite there. I'm kind of shocked that Permita was able to get completely dismantled. Where was the A-hold? Where was the ability for them to be able to, you know, kind of get the information of, they're in my spawn. They've rotated away. Permita, though, still having that 2-round lead. Still 2 rounds from GG's here if they can keep up with the pistol potent power that we've seen them have. And looking at the mid, they've given up the B.
Just like that. What is this split? Permita now going to be closing on and just trying to surround Hussars here, which is definitely going to be a well attempt, but you putting only 1 into back alley here is going to be Afi, the first one to fall, while the rest of the 3 are trying to catch up with pistols on your spawn, and not even getting away with just 1 yet. 19 makes that change, but let's say at this point it might be a bit too late.
I mean, it's never too late for Permita. That's the thing about these guys, is that they don't have anything to lose. They are on a save. 19 might be able to keep it back, but at the end of the day, it is about who peaks what when. And now it's where we see another lurk coming up from the sidelines. 19 clean as ever. They might be able to grab that gun and dip, but beautiful round from Permita. 2 picks down for a save. Not terrible, because they walk away with the double AK.
And of course, if anyone won't be able to buy an AK into this round, the two players that have the AKs are able to afford it for them, or a bit of utility at least. Again, it's going to be huge when it comes down to what they're able to rock. And again, Permita either going to be denying Hussars from catching up to them and possibly even dethroning them the lead that they've held for the majority of this match, or, of course, Hussars catch up. The Rico is more than good. And seeing as Laj also has the up, might even have the potential to overtake this map and surprisingly win out Ancient.
Winning Ancient would be very impressive of a turnaround, especially after we've seen them take Nuke. And against this team, they're doing clean. But look at the shots to the smoke and Lol 3K. He needs one more to live up to that name. He just has to keep getting aggro here. The Molly a little bit off to the side, but Lol's not done. It's flipping us off in his camera, so let's see if he's going to bring that energy to end out this round. Looks like Permita, smart enough to understand they can try to just go for this match point. Maybe an overtime is on the horizon.
Not too large of a fan the way they hold it. Again, we went in with such a tight hold on this B side that we allowed Hussar just to take these 3v1s or 1v6s that clearly favor them the majority of the times. And by the time the rest of the players from Permita came in to help, out of the 3 that we had fall, it was already too late. The players have been gone. Hussars were able to redirect their attention onto another player, and just like that, one after another. 11 to 11, and one even pushing into Offie. Going to be able to get him a kill, and the AK for Flea definitely going to be nice, but now they're going to rely on 2-3 players here to carry it on to match point.
Nice. 11 to 11. Ops in hand of Laj. Ops being the main focal point of these first round drops. This is what Hussars is known for, is the first blood being picked up here, and Permita, they have just enough to maybe go for a Galil buy, maybe even less.
That's the thing, right? Because they can either go for a force buy here and try to gamble it to reach match point first, or they could save and look to save themselves in the following. That's what this timeout is here for, because it's a difficult decision they have to make, and I think they're going to be going with the former. I think they're going to try and risk at this one, but personally, I'm not a gambling man, so let's see if Permita can hit the jackpot.
Let's hope that Permita can hit the jackpot. I mean, right now, Permita needs this round, and Hussars is the team to beat right here. I think that it's now a flip in the underdog situation, and Permita, you have some people that have been very clean at getting the picks, but then you look over at Eski. 24 and 16. This guy is non-stop finding theirs and then some. This is the kind of carry that is really just grabbing Hussars by the nape of their neck and ringing them all the way through to the next game if they're managing to just take 2 more rounds.
Can we give 19 the AK from Flea and just let Flea do his own pistol shenanigans, please?
I think 19's also been doing... It's the 5.7, though. He's been very clean with it. So I think at the end of the day, it's more just about, like, timing. Who's in a better position? And Flea needs this AK. And he gets one.
Maybe he got Trey for himself. Definitely some positive value out of it. Hussars definitely coming on top as the winners of this exchange. This side is theirs in the plant as well.
Are they going to be able to get this energy up? And yes, that is one. A swing out of the smoke. 19 not able to do what we wanted him to do with that pistol. Ophi ready to try to swing in, but he's made a lot of noise. And oh my god, everyone is so low, and it's just up to Ophi. You can't save this time. And that's one. Will we see a second? He gets the dink. There's not a single person above 30 HP, but it's the one tap. Ophi can't seem to get it, and that is match point going to Hussars.
You always got to consider quantity over quality. Hussars just proved that when it came down to HP and player count, but in the end, they got themselves match point, and even if they would have lost it, I think they could have still backed themselves up going on, but that if is no longer in consideration, as Permita will now be going onto a save round, barely able to afford utility on the CT side. This is going to be a real struggle.
Yeah, very strong of a pushback here from these guys, and look at this, little 3K. Hussars taking it a lot slower this time. They were very aggro on B, or sorry, on A in our previous mode, but here, they have nothing to lose. All they got to do is just take it.
It's yours, Hussars. 13 to 11. And then you can let Mirage be Permitas, or even that could be yours, but For now, just think about this one round. Permita, you as well, though. Don't take yourselves out of this count. We've seen ecos far worse, and you still managed to win them out, but you can't be looking to challenge these gunfights. Play it safe.
Just gotta take it extra slow. There's no utility on this team.
Oh.
Permita has to rely wholly on their aim, but pushing into the smoke.
What are we
Oh
doing?
no, they're both doing it. Oh god. They felt each other, and they're gonna get executed, but that's 1 for 1. A good trade up coming out, and another one. He's right behind him. STR, he walks in the smoke. He gets so many. And now Erskine, he's getting it. Eski is on the board again. But in this 2, no, make it 1v2. Make it up to Snow.
What? Alfie, the final. Permita, how do we get away with it? Definitely catching Hazards by surprise. Going in, try to feel each other out in the smoke, and what a play from STR. The FAMAS was all that they were dealt and did more damage with it than we've seen on any of the rounds with an AK. Truly the catalyst sought out by Permita, and with a struggle, they bring us into overtime for the first time in today and yesterday, I believe.
Wow. First time overtime. It's really up to now. There's no money limit. So this comes down to where these guys are going to be able to pop off. And Flea, good for a trade, but STR is gone. And with the Opera out of the game, Ophi's still online. There is a weapon advantage technically for Permita. They're now inching their way back and forth, trying to just allow Hasaris to make a misplay. And with how low they are from both sides, whoever steps in the wrong spot is going to be losing this entire game.
Hazards are feeling the pressure, though. They need to get up on site. They know they need to, because even though they still have a minute and 10, which is plenty, let's be completely honest, they don't want to give Permita the space to work around each other, and stepping in correctly spots the leg and just clicks in reaction at the right time. Malik is now going to be stepping in with the support of Eski. They're able to pick up 2 quickly. Third, all of a sudden, Permita have faltered, and this round is going to be surely Hazards unless a 1v3 miracle happens, but considering 19, might be better to go for the save here.
12-12. Gonna be Hazards taking again. They start off on the T side. Very happy for that. They know exactly what they're doing now. They've kind of figured out this game. Took them a little bit of time. Took them a day and a half. But here now to really shine. It's gonna be Faj looking for the any bit of a lurker or a save. But what an interesting spot to try to do it. And they spot him out. And look at the mini-map. They're all swarming towards him. There's not a lot of opportunity here, but 19. He's able to get one, and that's an AK for next round. Does he have someone behind him? He smokes himself off. He just has to sit. He just has to wait. And he gets another 19, finding some value.
All right, better than nothing, that's for sure. While the round isn't theirs, it's still going to be value, like you mentioned it, Edu. But going in right now, Permita. Rough round, really rough round. Again, entry for B here on Hazards was absolutely monumental. And once they claim ground over that site, they seem to hold it for the entirety of the round. But the one thing Permita has been good at is pushing Khazars away and not allowing them to get into that site in the first place. That's what we should try and play off. That's what complements this team, is playing aggressive before Khazars even step foot into our territory.
Huge moment now. Talk about stepping into territory. Mid is the hottest contention, and Flea again through the smoke, but it's gonna be Fajson getting another one. Remy gone, but another 180 from Snow to our left as Ophi also falls. There's not a lot of opportunities here as STR has to just back up Flea, stick together, and find themselves a player. And there's one. And here comes 2 more. The flash from his teammate, though, gonna allow for a big swing, and Lol gets another. The lurk's a bit too strong. STR, what can you do?
Always there, smoke as well. Try and extinguish it. They're going to be walking into close range, and that's where STR is going to be finding one. 2 more remain, and not expecting people to be so deeply pushed up into side as well. And I'll get to kind of wallbang. Connected to a kill, but it's Lalik actually tracing it better right onto you. Hazar winning out the second round as well, and now they need only 2 more to win it out in overtime. But Permita, where's the response? Come on.
I don't see this being what we kind of anticipated here. And, you know, it's funny with these overtime strategies here, or this overtime setting. The first overtime just feels like we're playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive. You know, back to 16 rounds, you know, we got to get there first. It's very nice to see it. But as you can see, what we're looking at from Hussars is a domination on the T side, and their CT was pretty clean as well, and they only need one once we get to the other side.
Taps out again. This is well played by Hazard. They know what they need to do, and it's going to be Ancho on the side, but battling them, confronting them. Remy able to exchange himself out for 2 before going out. And well, even though with a swing here, going into a losing battle, the flash is there for the support, but Snow able to just have enough vision to take out 19. As now the rest of Permit are going to be stacking up together, trying to find random shots through the smoke, but they won't be coming through.
Flea pushing on up with his teammate. They might go for the boost. What an angle. Smart as day. Eski is going to be able to grab one. And now another one tap. One left is just the op. No scope's not going to connect. And that means Permita stops the SARS from having match point advantage yet again. And they now have a chance to showcase what their T side can do to really change the rate of failure. Can we see another player join the 30 bomb that Eski's dropping? There's just so many opportunities here, and the fact that it's in overtime means we're going to be here for a while.
Going to be here for a while, and of course, Permita, do we bring it to a second round of overtime? Can we do it? Now it's going to be on the line, and of course, with a roll swap coming in, that means T is ready for them. CT for Hazars after quite a long day of not seeing each other. Now, let's see how that's going to be affecting gameplay and majorly the score.
Yeah, big score here. Hopefully, I can see a little bit of a change up, and what a spray down. Oh my goodness. Looks like a lot of damage dealt, but it's Snow's aggression that needs to find this Opper. But he gets one. He almost angles into the second, but it's just a trade. But now with the Opper gone, Offie no longer able to get the trade off against these players, but it's a lurk from STR, able to get Legends. Now this could be the setup, but again, how many times? Not this time. You're not falling for the same trick twice. And a good bait there from 19, and it's just going to be Eski stuck in the corner.
Page out of their book, but like I said, it's stuck in a corner. Although Hazards have the other site.
Yeah, they might have the site, but are they going to be able to find Eski? This guy is the top frag. He is single-handedly keeping Hussars very heavily handed. And now Eski is hunting. He's stomping, and STR just the patient hunter.
Oh. But is he hunting or is he the hunted? SCR coming in from top mid. Again, some of these unexpected angles tend to be the real bane for some of these players. But now we have two decisions. One of these two teams either wins 2 rounds in a row and we finish it out in the first overtime, or they both split 1 round between each other and a second round of overtime initiates.
Huge. Huge. Ophi here. Op again. Tied game. Tied game means we're going to be here for a while, aren't we? But look at the very aggressive play coming out. 3 players in mid. Smokes are down. STR wanting to now just back up his teammate. Almost lines up and gets colladed, but the molly is what's too strong. It's cooking them, and they spawn out one on the corner, but not going to be able to get that pickup. Luckily, 19's in the high ground, being able to just take out more and more. Permita winning it outright, similar to how they did in those first rounds.
Back in their prime, T is where they shine most, and of course, as this side is the one that complements aggression most, they're able to work with it hand in hand. But Hazards currently, again, looking to deny the overtime is on the deck here, and a 2v4 clutch isn't impossible. We've seen worse cases for teams, and they still were able to find that light at the end of the tunnel. But Permit are sticking close, and that's what I love about them. Look at this alignment through mid. They're just making sure that if one goes down, they're instantly able to go for the swing and a refrag.
Here we are. Taking it extra slow. STR. He's just doing what he's done in the past couple rounds of pretty much handily controlling an entire midsection. With the burn now out, Lowell running with his knife out. Completely caught off guard. And that's going to be Lodge getting 1. And a pushback from these guys. Permita needs this round, and Molly scares him out. right on into the crosshair of Remy. Huge. Permita taking that round now somehow from down 3 to up 1.
14-5 for Permita. This is dangerous territory yet again. Hussars were the ones looking to deny them of that OT earlier. They not only did that, but then they also got themselves match point first, which of course Permita responded to with not only a 12 score, but now, I mean, they're back in the lead. And again, it's this or nothing. Hussars, do you get to keep the game going?
Walking on up, taking your time. 19 spots the shadow, and it's going to prep him perfectly. Primed him for Lol's head to be on that crosshair. And now, again, on the other side of the map is where Permita's lurks aren't. It's the main squad. It's the team that needs to make the moves. And they're moving all the way down to the Shadowlands with that one. Another pickup and a force of a rotate here. It's going to be off the back of 19 all the way over here on B to try to get that information for his team if they really wanted to launch in. But again, they have a minute here.
The halftime clock isn't striking at them just yet, but the positioning from Permita are going to be really interesting. Again, that 3-1, they really like separating one player so they can do their own job. Just take at it at Hussars and possibly allow them another late entry into a different site, which of course they won't struggle with any longer, as Hussars are now just contemplating what site will they push in through, what will be the right move. They've split themselves evenly 2-2 for each site, and Permita now just picking between their choices, but I think a choice has been made and it's going to be B.
And that's why they chose it. They know that they can get that lurk down. They know that 19 is going to be able to get the opening. And now, with the bomb planted, they're looking for the last one. And the shadow, it gives it away yet again. God, I gotta love Source 2 engine. And now, we got 19 at 1 HP and 2 players and another chance of redemption. But Permita, they want to end it out.
Too close, but Hussar here, I mean, they're packed up against the wall. What do they truly do? Already halfway down. We see only one kit, so if snow falls, it's already over. And a 2v4, you just have to push on through. They should have done so a while ago. Refrag is going to be there. Just with only one left standing, Lodge will fall. And Permita will win the matchup. Third map will be theirs. Now they stand on series point with Mirage underway as well. And that's threatening. We've seen them on Mirage, and they are a force to be reckoned with there.
Absolutely. Mirage, definitely their best map. We saw knife kills. We saw fleas, multi-kills. We've seen complete domination of a very aggro mid position, which, again, Hussars is still lacking in relative to this team. Again, it's going to be down to the main fundamental part of this map that doesn't get you on the sites, but gets you control of space. And that is where Hussar kind of backs up a little bit. But 1-2. This is match point advantage in this best of 5, sorry. And with this best of 5 coming up soon, we're going to have to send it to a short break. And when we get back, it's Mirage to see if we're still going to be here.
Still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. Through the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I'm doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice way. Cause I grind through the climb, I ain't like everything is fish, now I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. The mind's got the key ingredient, it's the heat. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 still go, 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 slow, go, still go, 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 still go, go, so no, no, still go.
You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call it coming in, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an inch man I'm making, I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top in a second. They can all try, but you cannot contain it. Cause I see the things that I want and I'm taking my goals. Myself to the brink, no limit. Do what it takes to be free, committed. I'm a little obsessed with things, I'll admit it. But that's what it takes to get a freedom ticket. Got a killer instinct and it's just the beginning. Breaking down walls and the hurt start thinning. And the more you push it, the fast start tripping. Till you're the only one standing on straight with it all.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill, to make this our world, and to die on this hill. Be ready to fight, be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill, to make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight, and be ready to kill.
It's all there for the taking. You just gotta wanna keep chasing. Put you everything you're facing. Keep up with the pace and adrenaline rush starts racing. Get through all the things you hate and don't let the others encourage your dreams. They just don't know what it takes to be seen. You see the ship take control of your team, and if you're alone, then a one-man army. So you better be starving, and you better be carving. Through the hate, keep marching. And every day keep charging ahead till you get what you want, what you dream. Regret is a thing of the past, and you'll see that you always had it inside. It's the key to make the most of this life believe.
Never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill, to make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill, to make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. You down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't gotta sit in a plan and if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom in some books, something written, watch the best teacher system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take that. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Purpose is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you're doing something, that's all you need.
And welcome back, everybody, to Plausible Gaming's finals for our Counter-Strike Season 6. My name is Edu. I'm still on the mic with Puffo Bob, and we're still looking at a very neck-and-neck series with an insane overtime won over by Permita. Now, Puffo, it's going to be a brand new day, a brand new map here with a good chance that it could also end here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's brand new for one of these teams, alright? Definitely Hussars. Now, while, of course, again, they can play it in their comp matches, this isn't a simple comp match. You're going up against Permita, and yesterday's score from Permita was, well, let me just say, an easy victory with a bit of jest going in the meanwhile. And speaking of Mirage, let's waste no time. Let's get ourselves into this match, into the pistol round. And Edu, I mean, as much as we can hope that this isn't going to be the last one, Permita have shown results here before.
Absolutely. They've shown up, they've shown out, and they did it on the pistol round. This time, they are going to be starting on the T side, though. Previously, they were the CT start, and that definitely gave them a big advantage here because they rocked it on that side. Now, it's a little bit different. We do have one diffuse kit here for the Hussars. They're going in with a very light buy. But pushing on up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Carwix is back. He's able to get a pick down. And there we go. Changing up the roster just a little bit.
And RBD as well.
So definitely subbing in. But bringing them onto this map, I guess, is this their strongest. But shots in the back of the head. The lurks are coming in. Hussars back to the OG team from the semifinals.
Oh, I guess the Power Rangers are, all colors are back. The Avengers have united, and Hussars with their original roster to maybe throw off Permita with a different playstyle. Whatever it might be, it has given them the first round here. And Carwix with 2, RBD with 1, already showing off a decent performance.
Yeah, honestly, starting off with very impressive rounds from Carwix. I'm glad that we have him back. He's one of my favorite operas that we've seen in this tournament. But Permita, they're in the advantage, and they're running and gunning. They're ready to run, and they're ready to... Wait a minute. Hussars aren't on B. They're a little bit staggered. Luckily, it wasn't a B rush, or else that would be a guaranteed plant. But it is all about mid control for Permita versus side control for Hussars, as they are now inching their way in for a chance at a pick.
Close enough. Second one as well. The Deagle is going to be striking for 2. Count is going to be one of the most important connectors to mid. And while they've already finished business around it, now they're going to be simply retreating. And seems like B still was within their plan. And gone through apps doesn't seem to be contested. And with only one player, might be a guaranteed plant as well here.
Let's see. Walking on up. Guaranteed plants, not guaranteed when RBD's on the other end of that barrel. Looking to just hold this down. Spots out one, completely executes very fast with it. Sees another one pushing in, and it was the close quarters, but a rifle now in their hands. 3, 2, 2. Can we see a turnaround? And that makes it tied. Snow, RC3 here to keep it going, but both of them pushing out of market, needing to now find only one player, Ophi, close quarters, and Ophi takes an aggressive play, but it's the execution to take them down. But with 3 players fallen and the bomb planted, you can't be mad. You can't be mad at that.
Nope, you definitely can be, and considering they were only running off of pure insanity and Deagles towards its midpoint, Permita are going to be able to now back themselves up more than enough here with AKs. And of course, again, we're just going to be bringing in fun statistics for anyone that's watching. This is a bit more of a CT-sided map, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about maps and which sided they are, but for right now, Hazards are definitely taking it in, but that's also thanks to the pistol they claimed. The full buys from both teams are out, and it's time for Permita to show what they really have.
Good timing. Now we have a lot more focus towards mid ever since that last round gave him so much space, but we're seeing that Faj is able to get that trade off, and hopefully we can see a second one. Yes, we will. 2 are now down for the price of 1, but it's the push coming up here. Knows that one's there, and oh, that's a big juicy nade. 56 HP down, and it's not enough. If he's still alive, he's gonna get the headshot down. But look at this. Where are you looking, Remy? And that is a lurk up here for them, an AK in their hands, and RBD somehow managing to stay alive in that spot.
These fights really discombobulated. I mean, we saw the players, I think it was Rami, just looking into a completely opposite direction. We had some of these players trying to fight against walls and shooting into bricks. But the last one is 19, top mid, looking to approach short, gonna be able to find the first, expects the second swing, but swing will be swung, it's the AK that loses, and RBD able to claim it and pick it up for himself, as now Hazards on a 3-round streak, and even though they are starting off decently, Permita, I only wonder when their true nature of Mirage that was displayed yesterday is going to show itself, or was that just a team diff?
Very clean, but when it comes down to a team diff, I think what we're looking at here right now is kind of just a little bit of a stagger right now. It's clear that some of these players are looking a little bit lost, especially since they're looking at Hazards constantly swapping a roster. They've kind of learned how like players like LOL have played, and now he's not even in the lobby anymore. So their play style has to adapt constantly when you're up against a roster this large.
To under Miss Molly, not the best there from Snow. Gonna ricochet down right into the smoke cell, making sure that that Molly has no value. As for it, Permita, we're stacking 2 players towards watching window, so someone's live, specifically Snow here, could be very easily targeted if they stick to it for just another moment. Spots the head, but it's gonna be a value against them, as the opening here for Hazards, but Permita have just begun.
And another one down. Faj very clean on this catwalk. We haven't seen this Mirage gameplay yet, but I'm glad we are, because it's a massacre down Main Street. Everybody's getting slaughtered here, and it's the lurk from Remy. 1-2. Where did you come from? And now, where will you go? The bomb has to get planted, and you're the last player standing in this 1v3.
Gonna stick it down instantly. Not stopping. And of course, you gotta get this timer ticking as soon as you can, especially against Hazards. Apply as much pressure as you can, but all 3 are going to be approaching Market/Kitchen, whatever you want to consider. Remy here, holding it close, and doesn't seem to be getting held. One from the back line, not going to take his eyes off, but just as it still keeps some patience, Snow there with a shot right back to Remy there. With a bit more timing, with a bit more luck. Maybe it could have been around for Permita, but can't rely on that now, can we?
We can't rely on Remy getting an ace, planting the bomb, just doing everything for his team. No, we can't rely on the guy soloing the entirety of Hazards. That would be an unfair expectation. But getting into this next round, I am going to be looking forward to a potential for more people to be able to buy thanks to the bomb plant. And maybe the rifle round will allow mid to really start to toss things up, because we got Ophi with the op.
With the op. That's dangerous to work against, but even then, the men aren't going to be looking to complement it. Just smoking out everything besides short here. As for the push-up, still seems to be coming through, and Remy holding down Faj. Gonna find them the first, but more can we follow up with it, especially with this Molly. It seems like they really want to overtake the short side.
Gotta take it up. Smokes are now coming on in. Should be able to get just one angle down, and Snow swings out, but only is good for one. Remy with that trade could have been a collateral there, but it's the point blank. Ofi, what? He's not expecting two. Why would you? And that's going to be SDR having to trade it off. But with one player left, they grab the op and they get on the board.
Took a moment, just there, but Permita are slowly starting to bounce back into this round, or definitely into this match, rather, because right now, one round isn't going to be enough to catch up to what Hazards have been dealing to you up until now, but as they've been handed quite a faulty deck at the beginning, now they're starting to get a bit more into it, and with that I mean as well that Hazards won't be able to afford much. They're going to be actually going for quite a save with Carwicks even backing off of that M4. Ooh.
One and done. A one and done from Snow. These Deagles, I love watching some high-level Counter-Strike because you're going to see more like it. Another one right through that cranial lobe. Just taking these guys all the way down, leaving us now in a 3v5. And the eco still in the favor of Hazards somehow.
Gotta be careful of where you're stepping into and what you reveal, because Snow just gave off way too much to Flea with working, or rather for Fully to work with. Snow now might have fallen, but you still need another here, Permita, to try and get yourself into that equal fight and feel them out. They're both going to be approaching stairs. Look at that, Flea.
Jump scare.
He's going to be right below Ledge. Doesn't expect them. A single tap here will not be delivered. Try to return it. Carwick's good for two. The headshot is administered. Azar still at a one-man count up. The plant will not be committed, as I believe Alfie's just trying to execute anyone, but you're planting in the wrong direction. Fab sneaks upon you, and well, in a 1v3, Flea yet again needing to carry the team, but not this time around.
Unfortunate. And now Hazard is off of the back of an eco round, will not only walk away with an AK, it's two AKs and an op. They got a boutique from that, and so many of them still remain. So this is very clean, and there's a replay for you. Yep, that's what happens when someone gets shot in the face.
Yeah, go figure. If a Deagle 50 cal bullet lands right between your eyes, what could happen? Only what could go wrong. Well, Permita are going to lose another round. That's for sure one of the cons of it. And even though they certainly had the position to possibly go in for a plant, I necessarily don't see the reason why they didn't just go for the ninja plan, the default one. And the last player, I do believe it was Oppie, could have held them all the way from scaffolding. But it matters not. We continue, we digress, and Permita, again, in a position where they need to make or break.
Just deep breaths here. Take it nice and slow. Flashes out. And look at that. Just the turnaround is all you need. Great shots from 19. And that's going to be one big player out for the count. But Permita, yes, you guys have been able to take mid. Congratulations. But what happens next is the big struggle that they're feeling here. And they're still just idling right now.
Waiting. We've seen a lot of that. Permita have certain surges and temptations where they go in very aggressive, then they stop, then they go in again at a later point of the round, and we're kind of in the dead space, the dead zone of Permita's silence right now, but they're looking to break that silence with their push towards ramp and definitely making correct steps, but are we going to be checking all of our corners?
I'd hope so.
I hope so.
Good push. Better play. That's one trade, though. And oh my god, Remy! Jeez, this guy definitely picking up where his teammate has dipped. And if you're going to be picking this up like that, I got to also see what your team can do. Ofi, 2 and 6. Strength, 2 and 5. Just looking for more, but I think Hazard's going for the save?
I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. 2v4 here again. Opposite side of the map, they're going to be holding down apps and each other. 6-1 is going to be going under, and RBD could find value, especially with any retreating player to get away from that bomb's explosion. But in general, Azars have kept it well. They're also going to be able, with these two saving, they're going to be able to afford themselves a bit more going into the following round. And I think it's mostly also utility-based, because Ladge definitely won't be able to afford it all by himself. And maybe just looking out for the long run.
looking out for the long run and for the buys. Karwick saving the op no matter what, lets him buy another teammate here, which should allow them to keep up this decent momentum. But Permita, they've gotten now a decent-ish start, right? 2 rounds in, one back, you know, like kind of trading off rounds here. A lot better than when you lose 4 in a row or 3 in a row. So let's see. They take that mid control and they have these ops, but this time is Hazard's gonna be punished for it. Oh, this could be a lineup.
Just click that mouse, Karwix. You go at it. Keep him away. Another one follows. Daffy doesn't expect it. Thankfully, Remy does. On the other hand, able to trade it back, but Permita have already made entry. At least so far as jungle side goes. Hazards in the meanwhile can keep them at bay quite well, but even though they have mid contention, their site is already overrun.
Overran. But are they going to be able to re-hit? You got one sitting in Palace and a really good timing. Could change this game, but the whiff shot. He pre-fired, got a little bit baited by the shadow. Now Lash is on the high ground, will be able to just stop one person. And does he react in time? No! But he has control over the bomb, and it's up to Flea with only an op. He has to try to fight this, but he knows. Lash knows. Played the time. Allow your teammate to flank.
Of course, when you have so much control over A, who would be expecting someone up in the side of Palace? Well, usually no one does in their right mind, but Hazards have not been playing in the right minds. They've been playing in the winner's mindset. They're getting away with it, but this is not the way to do it, RPD, because you're going to be losing a life and leaving Labs in a 1v1 with up against an op, but even Flea going to be switching and resorting to the AK, trying to fake it out, spotting the kill, and just like that, going to be able to find value after value. Gets that op back. Doesn't go for the plan, though. I do wonder why that is.
Sometimes when you gotta celebrate, you gotta just like get up, hold W, and like fist bump. I bet that he just was not having enough hands on his keyboard and mouse to actually go for the plant there. Beautifully played though. What a clutch to keep them not only in this game, but now in their right mind here. As you said it, these guys were having a little bit of a, you know, kind of a loosey-goosey round, and Snow repeating what he did 2 rounds ago. I thought we were watching a replay for a second there.
So too, but no. We're actually going to be starting off with the action quite early on, and it's going to be SDR taking the first fall, but trying to get in an exchange. Keep in mind, Hazard on the pistol, and they're still having the side of Permita have a lot of trouble because they are kept in the lead for yet another, and the AK is going to be picked right back up. And now being a bit more dangerous, you're going to have to watch out for Snow here.
And watching out Remy though. Hello, that's going to be Fashion down. Molly's up. Assumes that someone's going to be close. And oh, what is this? RBD, the lurk. No one's checking apartments. And what a pick. And there we go. Ophi is going to be good with the op, but now with the bomb in hand has to find an opportunity. With one player, 1 HP, but both now having some AKs, this could be very risky. Snow has been popping off. I mean, literally, he's the only guy with double digits right now in the game. SARS just trying to keep up.
Look at the rotation from Oppie, though. Hazards have no clue about it. They're still stuck on the opposite side of the map, while Oppie can already go for the plants right now. Yep. Gonna stick it through. And Hazards, only now they realize it. I guess they were just being patient. They knew a 2v1. They were confident in winning this, and they still are, but didn't want to risk Oppie faking out B and then resorting to A and then having to go back. Although with an op yet, again, dangerous. And you want to be careful of how you peek into Oppie right now, especially as he's on Rab. The range is going to be incredible, but he backs off and could have Fleavies going for the defuse. Do we get a random shot through? A bit of damage onto Oppie with a nade. He doesn't have the vision, and Karwick's able to take him out. Not the best place here from Oppie.
Yeah, he had an angle that was right on it, and needing to watch that CT side, I think he was kind of worried that they were going to push his smoke to the right, so that's why he gave up the space, but you don't know what utilities left. One smoke and your entire post plant crumbles in the dust. So overall, I can understand it. It was still going to be the misplay. Needed to at least be good for one there, but with the bomb now down, it's not terrible, but it does mean Hazards is at that halfway mark in this round.
Yeah, Permita with 3 rounds of their own aren't doing the worst, to say the least, but still would be quite nice to see a couple extra pickups stepping up on it and gonna be able to find that angle. Not much of a reaction from Mary, just either headphones not working or just being a bit too focused, tunnel vision onto it. And Permita definitely do have only one objective, and it's gonna be death because no one escapes them just yet. 2 kills already, and the site being theirs, that's B for the easy plant.
Here comes a little bit of a pushback. We might see Fash try to run on up. We do have one still window waiting, but as the bomb is approaching the halfway mark, there's only 2 kits here. So those 2 kits have to push out of market pretty quick here, but one's on the ground. Another falls. Flea with the double down, and there's not enough time. He knows it. Fashawn knows it. Fash's son can't really get it, which means Permita, 2 away from tie. What a wide swing. Will be punished.
Punished, last one to stand. Bomb was taken down, and not much of a chance. Hazards look to make an entry, but they're going to be actually responded to with cold, dead death. As now, some of these players from Hazards have been carrying on the eco, and it's going to be Lowy Carwicks to go with the op, as the rest of his teammates might be in a bit of a starving mood. But no, actually, they still get themselves some decent rifles, just not the utility to back it up.
Here we are. Not going to connect that shot in top mid quite there yet, but Carwicks does have the timing. Waiting up. I'm looking at that Palace player, though. There's already 2 pushed up in ramp, and Palace wants to try to make some space, but oh, what a boost. Will be able to grab Flea, and actually doesn't take a single tick of damage.
Nope, gets away unscathed. As if he was never there, and Flea was gone since the very beginning, but STR going to be able to trade it back quite quickly with value. And again, and we're looking to keep it up as Remy going to be overtaking A, and now the resort from Hazards is going to be an instant rotation towards CT side, but they might be a bit too late to it, as every single main entry is already being held, and trying to crouch on through here might be a death sentence, but they don't commit to it as the flash actually did connect.
I'm really confused here by Legends, though. Like, we're looking at him behind. He could have gone up ramp, but instead chooses to loop around all the way to mid. And they don't really have the weapons for this. Now, getting an AK, he's trying to jump on up, and it's just going to be STR holding 1 down. Fash doesn't want to push. I mean, they're saving again. I think they want a barely lead. This is CT side. You got to go for more.
Yeah, but in this case, it's just too much. Again, they wasted already too many opportunities. They should have saved the second they had 3 players, in my opinion, but I guess they get at least 1. Although the eco has been so rough on them in this round alone, they've been barely able to get those guns, let alone the bare minimum amount of utility. So going into this one, we can take a look at them. It's going to be pistols for some of these rounds, and again, with 3 players saving, they could have maybe been able to put a bit more of a fight up, but now it's only down to chances and how well you're able to lock in, as Permita could be able to actually draw this out, which, again, for the T side would be golden.
Here we go. Another round, but Offie pushing up very early. I believe they did hear that scope in. And the molly, it is going to force a player out, and that's going to be a burn down. And the burn notice is here. 19 with 2 opening aggressive styles. Now, 1 top mid. And the Deagle is just so clean with it. But Fashion, oh, wait a minute. They're starting to stagger. They're starting to get some guns, but they're a bit too low here. Everybody's getting wall banged by Offie. I think he might want to do it again.
Because we clearly haven't seen enough of that. 19 could find a win, and Permita able to get a 6-6. Promising, really promising. The start of the match was quite rough for them. We saw Hazards with a 6 to 5 to 2, something like it. And up until now, I mean, Hazards have been really looking decent, but there's another decent thing that I think we can bring out, Edu, and would you want to take the lead?
Yes, honestly, with our new giveaway code for you guys, it's maybe our last one if Permita ends this game. And that's, of course, if they do it properly with the retakes, with the entry clear, or clear PG. Plausible Gaming. Entry clear PG for Plausible Gaming. That's the code. You'll see it in the chats. Let's see if they can find the value. And 19 already clearing 1 person. might be able to clear a second.
Pistols mean a lot here, but even Tazami's still able to fight back against him and go for
Carwick's
body shots.
accidentally
With
killed
that,
19.
It's going to be absolutely insane. Carwick's able to return two. Good value. Looking for the third. Going to be able to find it, especially slowing down STR, limiting his movement. But a second swing here is going to be going in absolute casualties as left down to a 1v1 on site. Ring around the rosy, but it's Ladge able to find the final two. Hazard's there with a pistol, picking it back up yet again, the same fashion they did at the very start of the match. And Permita, even though it was close, not close enough.
Very disappointed here to see the overall group style that we watched from Hussars, just walking in, constantly getting these picks. I mean, what we just saw from Carwick's incredibly clean, but what we're also looking at is how many of them they lost there. There's always trades happening, and yes, they managed to get on the point, but Permita, once they get some guns, is not going to allow that to happen.
Certainly won't, and Permita, for one of the rare times we've constantly seen them go into force buys when it comes down to the second round. The second round, which is going to be sticking down to pistols and beagles, well, which for certain are looking to deal some damage, and Flea actually able to go for the long shot and claim some value off of it, while one of the players here for Permita going to be able to sneak up onto site, but get taken out quite quickly the second the step is taken.
Nice. A little bit of a push back. And the spray. And the kill. That's one. That's two. Oh my god. Sniping with the Mac-10. I kind of like it. I've kind of got into it. Now, with this being 6-8, we will be seeing some rifles, but Permita not starting nearly as strong as we've seen them on the CT side.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's been hectic in these past two rounds, but again, I can respect the way that they went for the save. They did not invest much of a dime, and honestly, they didn't expect to get much value out of it. That's exactly what happened, and the icing on the cake is now that they're able to afford a lot more than just guns, a bit of utility to spice it up as well, and let's see if that's enough to get themselves back into the game and start following Hazard's score.
Inching this forward. It's now Hazard's taking that mid control, but I'm looking at STR. He's been known to be always around the wrong corner at the right time, being able to get those kind of pickups. So his current positioning definitely could lead to some advantages, but the molly forces him through the smoke, and unfortunately, that's going to be a trade up there, and another one for Feshon, and Flea having to trade these outright is not going to be able to get to yet.
Yet? The player on ramp holds the bomb. This could be huge, but it's down to Flea to play it through. But, oh, just doesn't have everything covered by the teammates. Oppie with a shot all the way from Market, able to exchange it. But again, Permita's priority isn't set straight. They're holding down B site still. Well, the plant is already going down in A, and midsection made it more than clear. Single taps for RBD, able to tap on through and find 19's head. And although low HP, and in a 1v3 Oppie, I'd resort to sticking to the op. Just save it. I don't know why we're jumping up on tickets to try and challenge Carwick, who already has the upper hand in this case.
Yeah, the 1v3, not the best idea. And you gotta hate the M4A1S in that moment. If you are looking down the barrel all the way on the guy planting the bomb, dinking him in the head, and he just stands up and shoots you, one hit, one kill, it's a little bit disappointing. But a timeout's being called. Permita needing to figure this out.
Yeah, it's needed. I mean, look at this rough start. Again, we set a play onto short with the op, which is a great start, but someone was holding him or just watching a wall. There was either two options. There were two players on short, right? Riddle me this, Edu. Two players are on short. One is holding Khan. The other one is either A, watching a wall, or unsuccessfully holding his teammate. Now, which one it was, I'm not too sure, but Permita didn't gain much out of it.
Yeah, they're not getting a lot of value that you would kind of anticipate from this team. And now with a staggered buy, they need to get a lot of value out of very little. They got to ring their buy very tightly if they want to get a drop of investment back. So with Hussars, though, having full AKs, having full util, this is the yesterday's boutique buy. There is one gun I want to see pop off here, and it's actually going to be the 5.7 in STR's hands. The 5.7, it's got the fire rate, it's got the damage penetration. It could stop this team in their tracks with the amount of people. The Deagle, great for long distance picks, but the 5.7 can handle multiple people at once.
It surely can. But both guns have been used in the hands of Permitta with greatness in the past. Now they're going to be able to recollect that memory and put it to use. Would be great. That's a nice entry on to be. Is going to be following with close kills, close contributions here from Fatson, which are followed up with success. Azar's already overtaken the site, and Permitta again just smoked out. Not much of a fight back, but attempting to do so. No communication. One pushed up to short, and do we spot him? Yes, we do, but only after a kill comes through. 19 going to be able to take a one body bag deal right before going out.
And now Flea, he's got this. MP9 in hands. He jumps out that window. He might be able to grab RBD, but RBD's been very quick on the draw here. You still have one player waiting for top mid. That's what's holding back this team, is that they need to try to swing at the same time to cause some confusion. This mass hysteria. And where are you running with your knife out? That's one. And that's another. But they don't have a kit. They can't defuse it. And a lot of damage dealt for why? For what? Looks like for not.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did Oppie just run towards the bomb?
Yeah, this is Valorant. He didn't want to give them any ultimate charge.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, Hazards also have Killjoy, so I don't want to be giving them that too early on. Of course. 6-10. Double digits for Hazards. And, well, without a doubt here, they're going to be unexpected results again. Permitta yesterday, it might have seemed like they were just a bit better than SK9 in general, the results they showed on Mirage, because currently we aren't seeing a tad tidbit out of them. And even though a tactical timeout was pushed forwards, not much progress has been shown. Kiss on the
Okay, you know, a little peck before you go to work and before you shoot him in the face. Pretty solid here, but STR, this is not the showcase we've seen this guy do. He is not the strength of the team. He's the weakest link, but luckily there's Remy to pick up where the strength falters. And now it's just two left, and they will be landing on this A site, and I think they might be able to have it.
For now, but Permitta are very fast on catching up and, well, revealed himself a bit too much, but the op from Ramp isn't going to be helping out Latch, who's in a 1v2, and Remy able to clean up whatever remained. The remnants of Hazards actually put in the bag, and although I'm not too much of a fan of hero plays and Permitta needing to rely on them, Remy certainly will be taking this round under his own hands.
You know, earlier in this game, I did say you can't expect Remy to just 1v5 Hazards. Yeah. Apparently you can. You can't expect that, because I think Offie was the only other person who got a kill that round with the trades there. So honestly, exactly what I would love to be looking at every single time. However, it's time to shine as they are jumping on up with a new setback here. Offie trying to control mid, and you're looking at everybody in CT getting aggro here. They're just holding W down. STR and Remy getting theirs. Remy from the catwalk getting two, but the trades are online. And is that nade going to be enough? What a flick. One more, and he's stuck.
At certain moments, I want to say that Permitta keep on trying to bite off more than they can chew, but they just chew it either way. A 3v1 hurry towards mid, and, well, Lad's going to be in a bit of a sticky situation. 19 with a nice little one tap to finish the job, and Permitta's starting to slowly, yet again, close into Hazards. But what I'm not liking is that Permitta are living in the shadow of Hazard's score constantly. I haven't seen them be in the lead too much.
True. I mean, this has been a tied game, and now a return, right? 6-6 turned into 8-10. With where we currently are, Hazards doesn't really have the money. And yes, if this was any other map, I'd say they could absolutely just do a Tech 9 rush or a Glock rush, but that's not what you can do on Mirage. You need to have at least a Mac 10 if you're going to try to get them some distance. And they could prove me wrong now as they are launching themselves outward. And let's see that spray. There's one, there's two. Bomb is planted. There's three. Let's find the fourth. And there is going to be one underneath in mini, but ooh, there's another. And that's the round. One bomb plant, one kill. Hopefully that's going to be enough.
Hopefully. I think so, yeah. Hazards are going to be able to get themselves more than enough cash. We can see Carwick's already with 5.7k. But they need to get this one. They need to make sure it counts, because players such as Snow are going to be down to their last dollar. Same goes with Lodge, and others to follow quite shortly after. Permitta, on the other hand, are slowly returning themselves from rags over to riches with only one round between. And look at what they did in the final round of the first half. That is, equalize out the score. But then what they need to do is take another step forward and use Hazards as a stepping stone for them to get back in the lead, please. Permita, it's been too long.
Yeah, if Permita wins this round, they will have the same momentum that they just had in the previous, and that will put them above. Now, will it be enough? Obviously, Hussars, they're still fighting for this midpoint. They're still trying to showcase that, yes, they know what they're doing, but with all of this util kind of coming down here, with a minute and 20 seconds left, we're looking at Permita using a lot of the kit that they have for potential retakes early for just stall. And it's not really buying too much time as Hussars is still being patient and nearly gets the first blood on Flea.
Just nearly. Catching them by the moment. Hussars not necessarily sure where they want to make it. Permita are being forced to make multiple choice decisions. But Hussars, as they're looking to distract them up most, it's going to be, again, be focused, good rotation all on through, and Permita are focusing their resources where they should not be. But still close enough to get their stack cooped up.
I got to see what what is this position from 19? Very pushed up on top of the chair.
Oh my god, no.
We haven't seen it yet.
Right. Oh, this is going to be... Oh! 19 gets 2, the third one is there! He swiped him! Just like that, Hussars' entire push so well planned. And look at Carwick's dropping, eating dirt, and getting piled up with the rest of the bodies. 19's position there, just so important. What?
When you've been defaulting for the past minute and a half, you're not going to anticipate a guy being on this spot for the entirety of the round. It was just a very well-placed gamble, and it worked off beautifully there. Of course, you could check your corners, but who would anticipate someone sitting on the chair just waiting for someone to watch the show with him?
So much setup. Imagine all of that just going into the dumps as Hussars are now facing difficulty. Pushing into apps, revealing themselves more than anything. With a kill from Remy, going to be able to start the initiation. Good one return from RBD. There's a couple more that lie in between. The plant is going down, app sided as well, and dropping into sight. Will be resorting to a kill and a kill back. RBD with a second as well, and Permita now stuck on market.
Wait, what? Oh, if he must have disconnected.
Seems so.
Not good. SDR can definitely clean it up, though. SDR can definitely clean it up.
Oh.
And it's the crossfire. Oh my god, Permita takes it even with the loss of a player mid-round.
That was... It would have been dangerous, as ours were also on the eco. And keep in mind the Tech 9 from RBD just doing God's work to their great way to exchange it out. But the Hussars are going to be finally being dealt a bit of their own medicine, going at a one-round deficit. But at the same time, even though they're able to back themselves up with a bit of gunfights, the most difficulty that they might be encountering here is how they've been playing the past couple of rounds. Again, they go in for refrags. Their gunning is good. Their setup as well, but Permita just get away with these triple, double, quad kills and make that all count for nothing.
Yeah, the economy now fully favoring Permita, but we already knew that. But the numbers don't. Ophi gone here. If they can't get him back in, that could be a real shame here. But with RBD getting back on with some buys, everybody is setting themselves up for success. Remember, this is Permita's pick, but the only side that was wanted was by Hussars. They wanted that CT side, and they did a really good start, tying it 6-6 against these players. But compared to Ancient and Nuke, it's seemingly not enough. And getting us to train, that's where you're going to be seeing some really solid plays, because you see people like 19, STR, and Remy getting these close quarter spray downs, and that could be all that they need.
Could be all that they need. They've relied on a lot of these rounds for it. And again, Remy has been an outstanding player. Already dropping the 20 bomb and 19 closely by with 19, ironically with 19 kills. But it's not like they're doing it all by themselves. These players pop off individually, and each one has done it up until now. As for Permita, again, they're looking to reach this match point, mostly because of overtime, mostly for the longevity of that OT, but also, at the same time, keep in mind, match point within regulation and series point. It means so much, and the pressure over Hazards here would be outstanding. I'm hoping to see the timeout here. We'll be working just for Oppie to get back in, because a really unfortunate time to disconnect from your team when you're 1 round away from having victory almost guaranteed, and that just has to sink. Yeah, we're going to be extending that, and now it's only down to question. It's Hazards either going to be able to answer with yes, we go to train, or Mirage is where it ends.
Honestly, based on what we're looking at here, even down a player, you're seeing STR. Remember, this guy, he was 6-12. He is now 12-12. All of these rounds have been off the back of him getting a crazy double kill, right? Getting us into this, he has survived long enough to get back into positive. And now Remy's with 20. You have 19 keeping up. Flea is pretty much soloing this A site. What is the main strategy for Hazards? They have everything that they need. They have everything that can set them up for success. And it is going to have to be off the back of Carwix. Remember this guy. Nuke yesterday semifinals. Man, they are gaming. This guy needs to get the first bloods for this team. And now with Ophi back, it's Op versus Op. And I'm honestly going to be putting a lot of focus on Carwix here.
Made the better Opper win, but no, the Opper's actually going to be dedicated towards B. That's a real surprise. Peeking out with the AK is going to be taking balls of steel here. And do we win it out? Nope, Snow is going to be actually taking the spearhead of the charge and able to take STR's rival. Kill.
Interesting to see that kind of momentum shift with STR fighting in mid, but Remy gets the first blood, walks away, half HP, and there's 19. Now they have the life lead. They don't have to play any more aggressive, and I believe they have full control of everything. But wait a minute, another player lurking up in B. It's Ophi with the Op. We saw what one person could do, but if Ophi just sticks to his guns and just holds this down, he should be able to get his first pick.
Oh, we've seen 19. Now it's Oppi picking up the torch, but not connecting the shot. Dangerous. Do we go for the repeat? Yes, we do, but it's going to be one shot. The second attempt isn't made. The no-scope is there, but not going to be connecting. Badge right onto the side. Molly there to block it out, but 19 for the true shots is all down to RBD. Match point between him and Permitta, standing as the final pillar. Time remaining, utility to be left. And with the Molly just attempting to find anything, but let's be honest here, RBD are at a disadvantage at many, for a matter of fact, and there's still a lot of barricades to go on through. The flank is there, but it's going to be 19 shot to find the final. 12-10. Hazards now.
Amazing. Amazing turnaround. Luckily, the loss bonus is enough to just give him a free gun. Hazards has one shot at winning this round, and it's the loss bonus. Remember, if they win it, they stay in the game, but they lose that loss bonus. So then the next round is about how much money they have left, and they're all forcing here. So yes, there's a chance for them to win, but Permitta is handedly still in this game. They have the advantage wholeheartedly. There's nothing that can really slow them down unless they start getting picked. But that's a pick.
That's an interesting way to enter here. STR is going to be able to return one before going out for Remy, truly making it all worth it, as even though Permitta didn't expect Hazards to go in with the Shresh, Plant is going down either way, but they're still able to maintain balance. And just peeked out of the smoke, he was exposed, and that's the bomb down. Another swing for Flea, and it's all down to Carwix, the hero, the chosen one. Will he be there to keep Hazards alive for one final one? Smoke to not be expected, and the final shot it is. Permitta 13-10, and your grand final winners, champions, and Season 6 victors.
Absolutely beautifully played here across the board. These guys knew exactly what kind of strategies they were going to be pulling up for us today, and I gotta hand it to them. Permitta adapted and locked it in. However, what we did witness on the other side was Hazards tried their darndest and played a beautiful game. I would say this has been very close. We had a 13-1 into a overtime. Like, I've never seen something so back and forth between two teams. And now, with Permitta being our Season 6 champions, I can say with certainty that this has been the closest season so far.
100%. In the past, Grand Finals ended up being a lot more dominant, but even though we didn't reach train, right, both of these teams still showed the struggle, showed the adaptation. We got to see them pull off the most what they can, and although Nuke, 13-1 for Hazars, right, maybe it seems a bit more dominant for them, but it's still something to keep them in the game. It's still something to show that they deserve to be in the Grand Finals, and in general, we just saw a lot of back and forth, like you mentioned it, Edu. There was a rivalry, and that's what we expect from a Grand Final, but in the end, there's always a winner, there's always a loser. Not necessarily, though. Even though the first prize here will be given off to Permita, there's still a secondary little prize going in for the second players, and it's going to be a good old $40 deal.
Yay! You know, that's going to be a decent amount of cash. $8 per person. Pretty solid setup there. But with what we got going on here, I got to hand it to him. Beautiful plays by Permita. Great by Hasar. I can't wait if that rivalry, as you put it, is going to be coming back during our next season. Season 7 will be hopefully starting up again. And if you guys are interested in joining the PGCS, head on over to Plausible Gaming's Discord. We got LFGs, we got a non-toxic community, and we got more giveaways for you guys, and of course more friends that you can meet to maybe join us in the tournaments. Season 7 coming up. I know we have even more Plausible Gaming for PUBG action. With that being said, my name has been Edu. I've been joined by Puffo. Puffo, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Always love to be on the desk with you, Edu, but with that, I believe, like all good things, must come to an end this Sunday as well. Tomorrow's Monday, so that's not going to be very fun for anyone going to a job or school, starting out with many as well. But this was Season 6 of CS2. We were very glad to be here with you. Thank you everyone who played, thank you everyone who viewed, and thank you to the production and Plausible Gaming in general. Big ups Ramesh, everyone working in the background. Huge work. This is the reason, you see all this fancy stuff around us. It's thanks to them. But we're going to head off now, and we hope you have a great rest of your time up until Season 7 comes around.
Wake up ready for the day because I believe in everything that I'm doing like it was meant to be. I get fixated and captivated on learning things. Don't hesitate to ask questions, the answer that I need. It's out there somewhere, I swear I can find the recipe. By testing, learning, and turning into a better me.
Lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your ride that gives you your purpose. Lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your ride that gives you your purpose.
To the top, and this music was my ticket. Found a way to grind, turn a passion to a business. No limit, I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need to chase. I love the race, and I'm running